This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What's going on, freaks? Got a lot of lights on it. Feels too dark light. Hey, Cairo, what's going on, buddy? Almost called you today. Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick was on a show today. Another channel, and you know, just for those of you that are out there, if you happen to see that show, when she mentioned the Daniel Armentrout, the fund that they've got there, that's the case that we here paid for completely with every nickel of the case. We spent $8,000 from the income from the channel to cover that case. So just so you're not confused if you happen to watch that, since it wasn't mentioned, we covered the entire case. So if you saw that over there, when they were talking about the funding for cases like that, we did that. All right, it wasn't anybody else. Nobody else did it. We did it. So I just want to make sure people realize that out there. It's not something that a little bit miffed not being mentioned there, but yes, we definitely, we are the ones that did that. So sorry if it embarrassed any of you watching that, not seeing our name mentioned while the fund itself was, the case was being mentioned. All right. No, it's not the flipper guy. Go look it up. Jesus, how do you not know who Daniel Armentrout is being on this channel? It was the 1961 hitchhiker whose car went off a bridge. He was in a car with somebody. He died. The driver lived. He didn't know who the person was, and he wasn't identified for 61 years until we paid for all of it. Okay? So it's just a huge thing on our channel. So if you're on this channel and you don't know about it, it seems kind of odd, right? Well, pretty soon I'm going to be, and look it up. Look up Daniel Armentrout, Armentrout, on the New York Post, for example. Mentions our channel and everything. All right. We don't know the name of the person with the flippers because we haven't identified him yet. What channel is what? Man, you guys are... Yeah, no, shout out was absolutely something that should have happened there. There's no doubt about it. So, just kind of feels weird, you know. But, yeah, things are okay now. Yeah. All right, so we got the... Now, don't worry about the flipper guy. I'll let you know. I'll give you updates when we get information, okay? All right. Yeah. So it sounds like you know, we were following the plane for a little bit of time, and the jet that Bryan Kohberger was on, it landed right here at this airport near Pullman, Washington. I think it was kind of over in this area even. So it's not a very long drive at all from there. It's probably only like a 6 or 7 minute drive from here to there. So likely he's back in there, and maybe in the morning we'll have the probable cause document. That would be awesome. Hey, thanks, Nicole. There's been nothing new on the Delphi case. So thank you. Got everybody in from the last show or in the spin, so I got that all set up while we were during the break. All right, so I got that. Thank you, Nicole. There. It's the person was found in Altoona Lake. And that's all I'm going to say. Maybe you could cancel what? Should we cancel? Well, I don't even know what that means, Candy. Yeah. Now I'll always be supporting identifiers. It just sort of took a little. It was like definitely like a wind out of the sails, you know, like kind of a moment of reducing your enthusiasm, for sure. But we'll always be supporting them. They do good work. The Storm Chaser stole all your money this week. Grave blame. I don't know what that means, but hey, thanks, PS. Yeah, our power went out a little bit ago, so we don't know if that'll happen again. That's no big deal, Kubi. I mean, it's sort of a big deal to me, just because us as a channel have spent so much time, and so many of you have so much to do with all the money that we're sending in, that I send out of the income from the channel, and to not be recognized when it's so obvious, so simple to do, it's you know, a little frustrating with an audience of over 3,000 people that would have at least heard that that's what we do here. So, you know, it just is what it is. I don't even know how that's almost seems impossible. Yeah, like it's like that case and us are intertwined. So that felt really strange that that moment was just, you know, it is what it is. There's no way to really fix it. It's just, only thing to do is just to get over it and move on, I guess, right? Just. All right. So what do we got today? We've got the. So do you guys know how I kept showing you guys and talking to you, and I did the poll, and I said, do you think that them being that close, the time that he was pulled over twice in 7 minutes and let go each time after 2 minutes? Because I really felt strongly that it had something to do with, that was intentionally done. And I said that. And guess what? It was. So there you go, everybody. Sometimes you got to believe in the intuition that I have sometimes. I mean, it just, I get a feel for things. It's not always right. Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. Idaho murder. FBI directed Indiana police to pull over Bryan Kohberger seeking video images of his hands. And remember, that was even part of the other video that I put out. Did we believe that his hands were swollen? Anyways, a Federal Bureau of Investigation surveillance team tracked Idaho quadruple murder suspect Bryan Kohberger and his father on a cross-country road trip. See, it seems like there's a lot of people that are contrarian So when you say something like, how many of you have ever been pulled over and you were able to pull away in 2.5 minutes? There's no way, nobody does that. Even if they don't give you a ticket, it takes 10. They get your ID. Guess what they do with your ID? They walk back to their car, and then they run the information through there. He wanted his ID, and he looked at it, and he knew, okay, yes, this is Bryan Kohberger. And then he handed it back to him. Okay, go, see you later. He didn't check on it. He didn't do a damn thing. All right? But so many of you go, oh, I don't know, Gray. I remember this one time when I... And then, okay, so how many of you have been pulled over a second time in 7 minutes? Yeah, that's what I thought. The answer was 0, but and still you get people, well, you know, you never know. Now, the law enforcement source told Fox News that the FBI surveillance team was seeking video images of Koberger as well as his hands. Bryan Kohberger and his father were pulled over twice in Indiana on December 15th while making the cross-country trip. The law enforcement source said that investigators were still building their case. And guess what? That's December 15th. Remember when he was arrested, I think on the, what was that, the 29th or 30th? And they said, yeah, 4 days ago. No, man, they've had this guy under surveillance for a long time because they did forensic genetic genealogy, which we talked about at the very beginning of the case, is something that the FBI should have a rapid team and get out there and quickly use it in cases just like this. And they have been not talking, but following Bryan Kohberger for a long time. I mean, this is that surveillance video, the body camera footage there is the 15th. I don't know what I think about the dad. I got to be honest with you. I'm not really sold on he's just some... Normally I'm kind of like, I feel bad for this guy and that guy because they didn't have a clue. But this one's a little weird. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out what was the point. It's not like they're doing a beautiful father-son trip home. They are hustling back to Pennsylvania. Okay? I think the dad may be aware of what his kid did, and it's sort of the Brian Laundrie parent situation. They're just kind of protecting him. I think it's a possibility. I'm not going to begrudge him for being that way either. It's just, it is what it is. You know, nobody knows how they would do what they would do with their kid if in a similar situation. But like, remember we were talking about this image right here, how his hand, and I actually think I see something on the inner side of that hand, that knuckle there. That's what I was trying to tell you guys the other day. So maybe we can pull some of those back up again. Bryan Kohberger and his father were pulled over twice in Indiana on December 15th while making the cross-country trip. The law enforcement source said the investigators were still building their case on December 15th to make an arrest. Wow, so when did they start building the case? So it just shows you how quick forensic genetic genealogy was used, because that would have been on the 13th with the murder. They get in there later that night and they start gathering stuff. They probably had his name in early December, I would imagine, and they were just trying to put it all together. But added that genealogy played a major role. See, there you go. Bam. Bryan Kohberger is being charged in connection to the fatal November 13th stabbing of University of Idaho students Kaylee Goncalves, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. By the way, the channel that Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick was on, the person that runs the channel put out incorrect information again. He said that the two body camera videos, the two different times he was pulled over, were like 7 hours apart. You know, I mean, it was ridiculous. He didn't realize that one camera was on Greenwich time and the other one. So, you know, we figure stuff out here. We try to be as accurate as possible. Yeah. Did you see the flight for 2 straight hours? Huh? Nah, I don't really care. Anyways, during a traffic stop by Hancock County Police Department, the Kobergers discussed an incident near Washington State University where a SWAT team killed an armed man amid standoff. Yeah, and I showed you guys that on the video that I put out earlier. Well, we're coming from WSU, Koberger's father, Michael Koberger, says. What's WSU, the deputy says. Yeah, they look... And remember we were just talking about on the last show how in the first time he was pulled over, he seemed like this is a legit pullover. Then when he was pulled over 7 minutes later, his face was totally different. I mean, you could tell he was kind of freaked out because at that point it was almost kind of a giveaway that they're tracking him. Don't you think? I don't know. Knife wounds and stuff like that would take much more than a month. I would, a month later, he's still gonna. But by the way, Zozo said that she's learning to paddleboard. Man, I'm just trying to picture that one. That's. Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. Let's go back and watch those videos again. Hold on a second. Where'd I put it? That was when he got to the car. So the driver's license. See, he's asking for the driver's license. This is the first guy, the sheriff. Now, was that so that he would hand him something? Just get his hand on camera? Let's see.
Right up on the back end of that van, pulled you over for tailgating. Is this your car? Okay, cool. Is this your car? Okay. For tailgating. Is this your car? Is this your car? Okay. Cool. Where are you headed?
Well, we're coming from WSU, and we're scanning early.
What's WSU?
Yeah, I go to the university basically. Yeah, we were listening to this incident that was occurring up there. There was an shooting incident. That is SWAT team and everything.
So we're...
Yeah, it's almost like they're bringing up this other shooting incident just to sort of distract the guy a little bit. What does it have to do with anything?
Okay, I'm having a hard time hearing you because of the traffic.
And you weren't even anywhere near there. It was freaking... I mean, you've driven, at this point, 2,000 miles away from the school.
Washington State University?
Yeah.
And you're going where? Oh.
We're going to be going to Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
No, the word scanner isn't in there. Hold on, let me see if I can hear what it's saying. Hold on a second. What I heard stupid. Did you guys hear that? Hold on. Hey, what's up, buddy? Dude, killing a little buddy. Skip on. Oh, you guys could hear that. You know you heard it in there. Be honest.
Where?
Ew. Wait, that hurt Anadarko oil. Did you guys hear that?
Interesting.
Well, it's horrifying because he's just over the universe. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So y'all work at the university there? Or?
I actually do work there.
Oh.
PhD in criminal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard about that incident. Just yesterday, or?
This happened this evening. About an hour and a half ago. They're still wrapping it up for investigating. I'm not sure there's two shootings, but they did shoot somebody.
Let's see.
And then you don't know about that actually. They were there for the shooting out of the window or something.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. But do me a favor, don't follow too close, okay?
Oh.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, you wonder if the first guy. Let me see. So that was the first one, but it's actually the second one released. So it would have been on the for the third. Yeah, it's in the other one. Yeah, I just showed you that, KK. Hey, thanks, Cairo and KK there. As a representative of Anadarko Oil legal team, I'm going to ask you to retract the last statement. What do you mean? Oh, come on. Yeah. Let's see. It was a sting. I could try to open up Adobe Premiere and play these slower, but the problem is that OBS and that program don't work together. They suck. All right, here it is. Here it is. See, this is the one where you can kind of, like right there, you know, it's hard to say if there's something there. That's probably just shadows, but it does seem like his top of his hand there is swollen because it's shiny. Normally you don't get really shiny skin right there. Yeah, this guy graded papers and everything. Yeah, he was a doctorate candidate, teacher's assistant who grades papers and communicated with the students. So what happened was this guy probably went and said he was told to do it, right? Wait, hold on, what does that say? You know what? One thing I got to say is, how in the hell do any of these people know what they're saying right there? You know what I mean? Oh yeah, that'd be great. I'll have 6 of those. What? Get my pocket. What?
I stopped you, man, when you were driving by me there. You're a little too close to the back of that semi. In the back.
He probably said, "We've already pulled this guy over. Make it really quick."
Trailer. We're about one car going 10 miles an hour, so we're going 60 or 70 miles an hour. We're about 6 or 7 cars. Oh, you guys did?
Yes, you guys. Don't forget to join the channel out there. This channel relies solely on the income from the generosity of you guys, meaning super chats, channel memberships, PayPal, all that kind of stuff. The ad revenue on live streams is almost nothing. There has been some ad revenue on some of the videos that I've made recently, but yeah, nowhere near that. So if you guys like to help out the channel, that would be freaking awesome, you know, so that we can give, keep sending identifiers money, even though they never mention our names. Oh, God. Unbelievable. I know Misty does all the time. Let's see. They could have also planned to pull him over to get video footage of him, no? They did. That's what the whole title was about. What do you mean, QB? I just said that a minute ago. I just read you an article about it.
Yeah, and you said that.
Thank you, Sasha Williams. Yeah, so basically the only thing that's valuable in here whatsoever is just kind of like, I mean, this guy might have accidentally got the only shot, but this guy was second. So they may have, the first guy might have said, I didn't get a very good shot of his hands. Can you get back over there? And then miraculously he got this shot in there, but it's very possible. I mean, look what happened right after that. The camera shot the side of the door the rest of the way. Yeah, I'm just saying right here he has a swollen, looks like a swollen hand is what I'm saying. This down here could be anything, a shadow, because right there is where you have that bone that sticks kind of out if you're thinner, so there's space in there. But what's interesting about them wanting to get shots of his hand are that they must have evidence that suggests that he either cut his hands or his hands were scraped by somebody. Now, this isn't out of focus and grainy here. This is a shine on his hand. I've seen it 100 times. I actually know what I'm talking about, KK. You know, every once in a while, just try to listen to somebody else. You're not always correct, all right? This one right here is clear. You can see the shine on his hand, and it's puffy. You can see it even in, like, multiple frames in order. All right. Hey, thanks, Alicia Barnett. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's see. His eyes are scary. Yeah, well, this one right here is when he was pulled over the second time, where you can imagine him sort of freaking out, where just prior to that, he... now, well, you're not going to see hairs and pores from that distance. Are you crazy? All I'm saying is you can see the shine on his hand there. You don't see shine on the top of somebody's hands unless they're sweaty, which they wouldn't be, or they're puffy. And you can see that doesn't really look quite right there. You know, who knows what that means? All right, let's see. Side of his wrist. Yeah, this right here might not mean anything at all. It's just, could be a shadow. It's dark over here. You know, there's different spots. That's what it looks like. Right. We don't know what it is, but it's interesting that they wanted to get shots of his hands. That's really the key thing, is because they must realize that there's something that happened, they believe, to his hands. Either he cut himself with a knife because they found blood of his in the house, or there was like skin under somebody's fingernails, like they scratched his hands because they see his face doesn't have scratches. So they want to see his hands if they had scratches or something. Right? So it's interesting that they want to have shots of his hands. It sort of gives us information about what they have, but they need more proof of it, right?
Go on to state, please get your license and registration.
Oh, wait, don't I have a slow version of this somewhere? Yeah. Just a second. Vegas Andrews. I've never been pulled over in my 46 years. Do they always go on passenger side? Well, when it's on a freeway, they go on the passenger side most of the time. Sometimes when it's on a like a side road or something, they'll go to the driver's side. But on the freeway, you want to make sure you protect yourself. You stand right next to the cars going 100 miles an hour, you know. Wow, just wow. I'm trying to find the slow-mo version that I have. Is it this one? Yeah, I think it's in my actual... And... No, that's not it. That's a different one. No, not that one. Oh yeah, it's right here. With the creepy music. Here we go. Now we can see when it goes in there. See how you don't see, he's skinny, right? So, but you don't see any of the sort of veins that go on top of your hand. And then right there, see how shiny that gets? Yeah. There's only like 5 frames where it's in there. I'm not saying it's 100% that it's injured or something, but the only two options are his hand is sweaty or it's swollen, and that's why it's shiny. Normal hands don't do that. It doesn't look like the normal back. Like, just look at the back of your hand, right? It doesn't look like that. Yeah, right, like, yeah. You don't really see the knuckle part. See, like right there, see? That's pretty clear. That they're shiny, kind of puffy a little bit. But anyways, you don't have to agree with it, but like disagreeing with something less likely doesn't work. How did no one at school notice injuries? I don't know. Maybe it's like his hands aren't. You know, there isn't. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain that. I mean, there might not be cuts right on his hand. Maybe they're somewhere else. Don't really know. Maybe they're not looking for that either. You know, like he was just acting normal, so he would just kind of hand somebody something quick, bring his hand down. Or, yeah, maybe he was wearing gloves or something, like it was. His hands were cold or something. He could just pretend. We don't know. When you say trials like this, what do you mean? We're not even at a trial yet. Huh? What are you talking about, PS? She's saying that the image is too blurry to know if his hand is swollen, and I don't agree with that, because you can see something. I mean, it's shiny right there, and it doesn't quite look right to me. It looks puffy around this area. I don't know what this means right here, this little situation, but in the other shot when he handed the driver's license, it looked you didn't see anything. He also didn't seem overly cautious about having his hands open for people to see. But it's interesting to see how this is his face in this one, and the other one he looks totally different. Yeah. I mean, you have to zoom in on this, but when it's not zoomed in, it's not unclear. It's just, not the highest quality cameras in the world, because they have to have a shoot at lower quality to have more space. That was pretty funny, Zozo. I'll have to give you credit for that one. He looks like the human version of Bert. Oh man, that's hilarious. Let me go get Bert. Hold on. There you go. That's pretty close. Wow, he's got the bushy eyebrows, everything. Oh man. Pretty close. Would you guys quit doing your little side conversations, PS and KK? It gets kind of passive and old. It's yeah. No, that's totally different. He had a shiny small spot. That's what you get when something's tight. His face is shiny because it's right there in the camera, and it's a really big, shiny area. His nose is right there. See how his nose is like that, and it's shiny? There's nothing on the back of the hand that would be shiny like that. So I mean, just sometimes trust other people. I use images and work with images and stuff a lot, and you guys don't. So that's the truth. Right. Okay, cool. Thanks. There's a big difference. Now, his nose shine is something kind of similar because it's tight and out, you know. And right here, if you see a little bright spot, like watch this, when it gets in there and when the sun actually hits it, boom. I mean, that's a really fine spot right there. And so that means it's really tight right there. Then of him in a navy shirt grading papers where his hands are naturally puffy. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, Nelly. Yeah, if his hands are naturally puffy, then sure. But all I'm saying is his hands are puffy. You know, if his hands are naturally puffy, I can't do anything about that. Yeah. His other hand doesn't look puffy. His poor dad looks like he's blinded by the sun. Anyways, we can open up the lines here now. I mean, we followed the plane earlier. It flew kind of a straight line, and then it sort of veered down to the left into, I think it was, what state was that? Wyoming somewhere. And then it kind of went down and then back up to the right direction to where it ended up being. So it made it to where it was going. He's definitely back in Moscow, Idaho at this point. I mean, it's not really valuable to show the video of the plane landing, is it? Really? I mean, honest to God, what would that do for us? Now, his hand's swollen when he was leaving the court. I don't know. I mean, I can't tell. I'm just looking at this one picture. Now, if he has naturally swollen hands, then great. The plane, no, it's Z plane, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you keep saying the word new mugshot. What is that? What good does that do to me? All right, here's the Bryan Enton new mugshot. Looks exactly the same as the other shots of him. I mean, I don't even know if there's one atom of difference in this photo as the one he took the other day. It looks exactly the same. What do you guys think? Anything differently there? I can't see his hands. How would I know? Can you? Yes, everybody. I can definitely see that he's got swollen hands in that picture. They look like clubs at the end of his hand. In fact, I can see that it almost looks like his hands were crushed by a Zamboni. The swollen hands in that photo cannot be seen. Right. That's the point. It was a joke there, Von Krul. His one forearm looks puffy. Yeah, right here, the Popeye forearm. Yeah, maybe he broke his arm or something. I didn't really thought of that. Really? I'm not going to play that. All right, guys. We'll do call in. I'm not sure how long this is going to go. We're really slow up in here tonight, so we'll see. So, yes, the lines are open. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have came on. I'm not even in the greatest mood after that, just that earlier shit that happened. But I promised I would, so I'm here. I don't know, just a shitty not getting credit for something earlier. Yeah, she called up. She felt bad, but it's like, man, how do you forget that? I mean, it's weird. Yeah, anyways, let's see. Hope they have enough on this guy of phobia about the... Oh, of course they've got the right guy. Yeah, you don't have to have any phobia. Yeah, it's almost hard to forget something like that. That's why it feels weird, you know. Thank you, Melanie. Well, he was driving his car to go to Pennsylvania with it. The whole thing I'm trying to figure out is, why did the dad need to go there only to take a really, like, maybe he said something like, hey, Dad. I mean, that's why it feels like he knows. Because they needed to get the car home as quickly as possible. So he was going to show up so they could do shifts. And he drives sometime, then his dad drives, and he drives. And he drives. It wasn't some weird, let's spend some time together bonding moment. It seems like they wanted to get that car back to Pennsylvania as quick as possible. And then that car was never going to make it back to Washington. So that's my, perception that you don't have to agree with or anything like that. It just feels like that. Now, I don't know if it's like... Huh? God, that's not even funny, Llewellyn. You got to work on your material there. It's just... Wow. Hey, thanks, Adniram. And Zozo. So, PS and KK, just don't worry about anything I'm saying. I'm just not in the greatest mood in the world. Plus, I don't think you guys are like really paying attention to what I'm talking about. See, like in the Jody Arias case, the floor is shiny by itself, but then there's these spots that are even more shiny, like way more shiny, right next to the floor that's already shiny. So that's why there's blood on the ground in those areas. Thank you, Tarish. Stuck in the wall. And Eugenie. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm not going to answer the one guy that keeps calling in. I don't have any patience for you. If you call in again, I'm not going to answer this guy. Wasn't it 216, the other one? Yeah, forget that. Wasn't it 216? I can see it sitting right here. Yeah, see you later. All right, 610, you're on.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
It's Joey, man. Yeah, man. I agree with with the swollen hand and all. I was just thinking, do you think there's a possibility that they might have been trying to get like touch DNA or something too? Maybe when he handed him the license, and not just a hand.
No, I don't think so, because I think they would have already probably collected something. But also, that wouldn't really be... He'd have to, like, grab it with something. It just wouldn't be technical enough to pass any kind of court. But no, I don't think that.
Okay, because, I mean, if they were going to pull him over and he was a suspect, I mean, I guess it's pretty hard to get an actual DNA sample from him without it being obvious. And to your point with the father, do you think he could get accessory after the fact if they find out that is indeed him flying out there to do shifts on the way back?
Well, they'd have to prove that he knew something.
Right.
I mean, I don't think if he didn't know anything, he just says, I didn't know. I just went out there to... But I mean, the reason I could see, okay, he flew out there, the dad, to give him, to spend time together. They would just drive back, but instead it's like, let's get the car back home as fast as possible. We've been driving almost for 24 hours now, and I mean, that's sort of weird. I mean, what kind of bonding is that? What was the point of that? It was almost like he knew that he couldn't drive all the way by himself, Bryan. So he needs help to be able to get it there as fast as possible. And that car was never going to leave Pennsylvania again. He was going to fly back himself. And the way they were just talking really fast in the car, like, hey, yeah, and then just throwing the guy off, like, oh, yeah, there's mass shooting down here. Wow. Holy crap. It's like it just seemed like they were trying to distract him somehow. Especially... I mean, that was the first guy that they pulled over, and then the demeanor changed completely on the second one because that never happens. And either both were intentional or one was intentional and the other one was just random, and the timing of it was horrendous for not giving away the fact that they're tracking him.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be, well, it's likely deliberate, man. Like, twice, and is it 7 minutes? Is that for real? Oh, by the way, on a side note, I got a funny story. Our guitar player got pulled over by the same cop twice, dude. And they were going to tow his car. He was just late for a meeting. Oh man, but so it can happen. But I mean, unless that guy was just driving for, I don't know how long he was driving for, and just gazing off. But I think you're right. I think they asked them to follow up.
Well, so you got to look at it. He drives 2,500 miles, and then he gets pulled over twice in 7 miles. I think the odds of that are like 1 in a million. There's no way that happens.
And that's in Indiana, right? So what's that, like halfway, his trip halfway?
Mm-hmm.
Man. Yeah, wow. I mean, that's just... Yeah, I mean, are we going to get anything from the probable cause, and that's not till Friday? Is that right?
I'm not really sure. It might be out tomorrow. Why do you think Friday?
Okay.
What made you say Friday? I mean, tomorrow's Thursday. He's already in town. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought I heard that, dude. I've been just looking at so much crap trying to decipher what's what. That's why I always can't wait for you to come back on. I know you're pretty burnt tonight, but appreciate you coming back on, man, because I don't know, man. I just trying to get these details straight, man. And I agree with you with the Bundy too, man. Like, there's just too many similarities. Like, it's almost like he watched that Netflix documentary and it was like, you know what, man, I want to get that spotlight.
Yeah, no, definitely. I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if they said, yeah, he was, because his professor was a serial killer expert. And since it's in Pennsylvania, of course, Bundy's going to be somebody they talked about, because she could go, he lived right here, and then he moved to, and that's exactly what, to Washington, and then so did Bryan Kohberger, from Pennsylvania to Washington, and then 3 months after he gets there, he kills 4 people inside of a sorority party house just off campus, so there you go.
Right, and then, well, then you know the next chapter of that is he's going to represent himself.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
On Sunday morning at 3:30 a.m. too. All the same.
Yeah. Wild, man. Wild.
Yep.
Oh, man. All right, brother. I'll let you go, man. I really appreciate it. Hang in there. And, yeah, man, I'll be posted to you, Skipper. I got you on my on my notifications.
All right.
And peace to all the freaks. And stay safe out there.
That's right. All right, man. Have a good one. See you. Bye.
All right, brother. Take care.
Joey. Yeah. I mean, let me ask people, if you watched, only answer if you watched the video that I made earlier today. Do you think Koberger, let's see, was, I don't know what the word is, like trying to copy Bundy? I mean, I don't really know what you say, but there you go. There's no question mark on there, but there you go. Yeah, inspired by. There you go. That's the word. So just in your mind, just think of the word inspired by. Well, I didn't ask you to type it in laughing stock because nobody gives a shit what you say anyways. Just type the yes or no up above in the poll. Okay, thank you. This song is just for you, laughing stock. Nah, the ones saying no don't have to be trolls. You know, a lot of them just are always trying to be contrary. Doesn't really matter. So, anyways, gonna end the poll now. Ended up at 69%. Said yes. 678, you're on. Hey, Mike D, what's going on?
Oh, I'm trying to put you in a better mood.
Well, that was just
hopefully.
such a downer shit that what happened earlier. It was just wow. But anyways,
Yeah.
what's going on?
I wonder if you're familiar with the website radioreference.com.
No.
Well, it may be something for you to look at with your reach and your knowledge. I used to be a premium subscriber, and I listened to my handheld radio here from my county to monitor police and EMS.
Well, I use broadcastify.com.
Okay, so yeah, basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Have you considered doing archives on anything here?
Well, I did the ones
Idaho?
on. I did the ones in Idaho that they don't have them for that area. That's the sad part. That little area of like I looked at that right at the beginning to see if I could get the, when they were called over to the house and that kind of thing, but I couldn't find
Right.
them.
Okay. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there. I wonder, on the Indiana.
Yeah, maybe we could get the Indiana, the state,
Right.
the sheriff's department. We could look at it. Maybe we could even try to find it while we're doing it on the show here.
Yeah, I mean, now I'll tell you, Gray, I went to Radio Reference, although I'm no longer a member, and I was able to look up Lake Tahoe County, Moscow PD,
Mm-hmm.
and EMS. Now, when I click the archives, of course, you have to be a subscriber.
Oh, maybe that one has
It's a paid-
more than Broadcastify.
It's possible. I'm just offering that up as something, and with, like I said again, with your subscribers and listeners, it's very possible that somebody was actually monitoring that traffic in Idaho and in Indiana, who may call in or may send you an email to say, hey, I actually heard some traffic. You know, now that someone's been arrested, and depending on the probable cause, if it's leaning heavy toward him, then I wouldn't mind digging into that. You know, it's public record.
Yeah, well, the Latah County on Broadcastify has nothing underneath it. I'm looking at it right now. So that's Latah County, nothing. And what's the name of the other one again? Yours?
RadioReference.com.
Maybe I'll have to get that one.
It's like I said, you can listen to a whole lot of stuff for no cost, but if you want to dive into the archives, you'll pay a premium subscription, which I have done. There were 2 deaths shot in a county near me earlier this year, serving a warrant, and I was able to go back while I was a subscriber and listen to that traffic. Now, they redacted some things, but they still had it on the archive the whole night. You know, so pretty scary stuff.
So they redacted.
Yeah. Now you know better than anybody that Google Earth has blocked the view of that property now. So it may be the same kind of thing going on with this this other public information here. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know where the now I think I lost, my power went out, and I think I lost where I put that pin for what county that was even in for.
Yeah, well, what was it, I-70 or I-80? So that would be easy enough to find.
I think it was I-70 mile marker 17. What was it again? Shit, no.
107 from earlier today. That's what Bama says, 107, yeah.
Was it 107? Okay. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, so it was 70 and then mile marker 107, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I see 70, but I don't know where. I can't remember if that was near Spring Grove or what the hell. Let me just look one time really fast. I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, I mean, we try to look at stuff like that. I always do anyways. I try to go find something on Broadcastify, but if I don't find it, I don't spend all day looking for it.
Well, I figured as much, but I wanted you to just know from my experience that it is archived on Radio Reference. So, you know, you might even consider looking at other stuff, you know, before now, and you know, digging up archives. I mean, it may be interesting, you know, with your brain. So that's all I had. I just wanted to.
It is
sure
interesting.
You had that tool in your toolbox.
Yeah. Well, I think I might add Radio Archive. Is that what you call it? Radio Reference, I mean. Radio Reference.
Radio Reference.
And then their archive.
Yeah. And then once you subscribe, then you get access to the archives, you know.
Let me see. Radio.
So, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Let me just put it in there. I'll put it on my desktop so I don't forget it. There we go. Boom. I got it. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Mike D with a license to ill.
Yes, sir. I hear the spirit box somewhere out there. After the circus music, you got to have the spirit box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe I should. There you go. There you go, Mike.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gilligan, little buddy. Yeah. Isn't that crazy that people try to analyze that shit?
You just made my day for the third time. Third video. I appreciate it, Gray, and we'll chat later.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Mike D. Yeah. I do need some happy things. Hello, who's this? Who's this? Oops. All right. 352, you're on.
Hey, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad.
Sorry to hear you're having a rough night. So I was listening. I was out running errands and got a late dinner, and you know, I'm over here in Florida on the East Coast. My name's Austin, and I've called in several times, and it's probably been a few weeks now. But what cracks me up about this guy is how much he is trying to be like Bundy, and that's honestly what probably, you know, an FBI profiler was maybe making those connections in the background and help them like catch on to him. And if he would have tried to been Bryan Kohberger instead of Ted Bundy, maybe he would have had a better chance of getting away for a bit longer, you know?
Yeah. Well,
it just goes back to the whole don't try to be like somebody else, try to be the next you, you know? Don't try to be Grant Hughes, don't try to be that circus horror, you know, channel.
Yeah, it's kind of like...
It goes back to the old adage, and it works in every case, you know, just like this one as well. And Ted Bundy was way more attractive and could actually get women, you know. He didn't have to stalk them and stare at them from across the bar. He actually walked up to him. So, in my opinion, this guy is just a poor man's Ted Bundy.
Yeah, but you think he's trying to be Bundy, though, right?
Oh, 100%. You can't. I was watching all the parallels that you drew, and there was like 5, right? You're like, the same time, Sunday night, Chi Omega. I mean, that's not by accident.
Well, there was 5 women that he attacked.
That's what I meant.
At Chi Omega, and then there was 5 women that lived in the
to
house. Yeah, it's kind of pretty crazy.
There's no way. Like, there's no way that all of those, I mean, if it was once one of those connections, maybe it's like happenstance, but there's no way that all those parallels that you drew and him not trying to be like him.
Yeah, that's what it feels like for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and what's kind of crazy to me is remember how in the beginning they're like, oh, we vetted all the stalkers, and there was talk about Kaylee having a stalker, and they just kind of threw that to the side along with all the other information that people brought up, and they're just kind of tossed it to the side, and now it's like this was maybe that guy that she was talking about.
Yeah, I was bringing that up the other day. I was saying that it's crazy that remember how they found those. They sort of tried to clear the stalker thing by saying, yeah, we talked to these 2 guys that followed her out of the store, and they weren't around. You know, they cleared him. But then they removed that from the whole story again and said, we haven't been able to find about that stalker, because I think they realized that wasn't, and I even said it on the show, I said, they know that incident is not, that's why they removed it, was because they know that incident at the store is not what all the friends are explaining to them that Kaylee was talking about. So they removed that, and kept it back open again. So that's my opinion, anyways. Yeah,
and they wanted. I think they felt bad that the student that supposedly but didn't go to, falsely went to South Africa or wherever the hell people were trying to say went. I feel like they kind of left that out there because they didn't want to shoot it down so much that, you know, like they, in other words, ruled out people. I think they did that on purpose, and you probably feel the same way, that they let that kind of people talk about it, even though they said we don't really want people to accuse other people. They let the public keep doing that because that was buying them time, right? In a way.
Yeah, it could have. Well, yeah, and they probably thought, well, that's cool that they think he went to Africa. Then they won't be looking for him here. It kind of protects him a little bit.
Right, and they wanted, I mean, they don't want the public to be doing that, but it kind of helped them that all these crazy people were talking about food truck guy. People were hung up on food truck guy for 2 weeks when
and then
they were using that 2 weeks.
Yeah, it made him feel comfortable about it.
Right.
Like, oh, wow, they're after that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you know he was thinking that. And then the whole shining of the light, like, or the light shining down on his hand. His hand, for his hand size would not be that big in reference to his body, for like how small his wrists are and how lanky he is to have a big, huge, swollen hand like that. That doesn't make sense. Like, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said his hand looks swollen. There's no way in hell a man's hand would be that big in relation to the rest of his body for his build, right? Like, there's no way.
Well, it just looks like it's tight and bigger, so that's why it's shiny,
Right.
you know. But like if
Right.
his skin was normal, where it was just sort of loose on the back, you know, it's always a little tight on the back of your head, but not where it's
Not like
puffy,
that.
where it's going to get a really shiny reflection on it. That's what you get when something's really swollen. And like that guy's nose in the other picture, you know, like sometimes people's noses are, you know, it's tight skin right on the end of your nose, so of course that's going to be shiny. Plus people have grease on their nose, so the only way your hand could do that would be if you're sweaty or it's puffy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And one last point to finish my thought, because you've had a long day. You know, a lot of us have had a long day as well, and appreciate you taking the call. But my last point is, do you get like the laundry? I hate like referencing old cases and that, but the whole with the dad flying out there, that his dad had to have known, like, what his son did, right?
I'm not really sure. Like in the Brian Laundrie case, when he came home, I don't know if Brian ever told the parents, yes, I killed her, but I think they probably knew, because where is she? And here's her van and she's missing, right? So they kind of knew. This case might be different. I mean, in some way I have this weird vision of his father knowing exactly who his kid has been all these years. He's different than Brian Laundrie. Brian Laundrie is just one of those domestic violent sort of snapping moments.
Spur of the moment. It happened.
Yeah. This guy here, he's probably given his father, you know, his father has seen who he was, so you sort of have these picture of, you know, his dad sort of enabling, you know, I don't know what you call it, like ignoring things, but
the signs, whatever. My son's a good boy, and then he flew out to Washington or whatever, and went to Washington State, and that's when he made the turn drastically to what he is now, or what he's accused of, allegedly, right?
So it's kind of like, even if the other three were, he just went there to kill Kaylee, still, whatever behavior it is that go in there with a knife like that, it is right up there, like with serial killer type stuff. I don't think it's going to be, oh, he was bullied, therefore he's killing people. No way.
He's very narcissistic and sociopath, and thinks he's smarter. And what he doesn't understand about Bundy is that was, what, 20, 30 years ago? Like the DNA and, you know, the genetic genealogy and all that wasn't around 20, 30 years ago. Like, you can't, that's like talking, you know, that's like speaking with the, like, this is obviously not a good parallel at all, but like speaking with the realtor about how, you know, how things were done 20, 30 years ago, when the realtor doesn't see all the new technology and Zillow and all these different tools that they have now. Like, you can't compare yourself against somebody who did something 20, 30 years ago. Like, that's following that is what got him caught, right? Because it's impossible to go into a house and not leave some kind of hair fiber.
Yeah, or something. You know, something
like,
behind. But in this case, when you have 4 brutal murders with a knife, there's a really good chance of something. You know, like, it's not necessarily guaranteed that he's going to cut his hand, but it's, you know, pretty good shot at cutting his hand doing it. And something else, you know, somebody would have fought back, you know, got, you know, somewhere in the house, he left DNA in there.
He had to have. And then he went in there with I don't know if it's been confirmed or not, but the washing in the bathroom or something. Like, why would you go in there and touch all those knobs and give yourself another, you know, room, if you will, to leave evidence or a trace of evidence to tie back to you? Like, the guy, for how smart he was, or how smart he thinks he is, like, being book smart and street smart or serial killer smarts is completely different, right?
Yeah.
And I hate saying one more point, but this just crossed my mind. So what do you think about that podcast when that guy called in and talked about, this is weeks ago, right? And I don't like going down the 4chan or Reddit rabbit hole, but I think this was like something out there where the guy sounded like real twisted and called in and, you know, had some crazy story. I don't know if you heard about that or not.
Yeah, they went and explained all this crazy stuff. I don't really buy into that stuff.
You don't really buy into that? You think that was just somebody trying to
Yeah, just somebody trying to,
Yeah.
make a
Yeah.
sensationalism.
Yeah, just make up some stuff to make them, to throw people, I don't know, just to throw something out there to make themselves feel important or throw people off, be a troll in a way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I'll let you go and have a great night. And
You too.
thanks for taking my call. And it's always a pleasure to speak to you.
That was a good conversation. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, that was good. Anybody can call in. What do we? Yeah, I'm going to remove the call-in user one. Sorry about that. If you ever have a thing that says call-in user, you're just going to get removed. Sorry about that. 951, you're on.
Hi, Mr. Hughes.
Hello, who's this?
This is Deborah.
What's going on?
I'm calling from California. I'm calling on behalf of the parents.
Yeah?
I just want to be that. I just would have liked to have been one of those little girls that said their parent was there to save them, their parent, or even a young adult.
Yeah, wait, so what are you saying again? I don't know what you're saying.
I'm speaking on behalf of the parents, just trying to ease their pain from the loss of their child. I lost a child.
Yeah, I mean, I lost a brother. My mom lost a child. It's horrible. Sorry for your loss there. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think it's going to, we can't really ease their pain. They're going to have to feel the pain that they're feeling. And then probably after the trial is over in a murder case, that's when they can start trying to get back to some sort of a normal life. But I don't, like Steve Goncalves, I don't think he'll ever have the same life that he had before, because you can just tell, like, it really affects him.
No.
But he'll be able to laugh again and be able to hang out with friends and not always think about it. But it'll take 4 or 5 years or so to do that.
That's true. It takes a long time, but I was living here in Riverside when Ted Bundy, and I was applying for RCC at the time when Ted Bundy killed one of the girls in the parking lot at RCC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
wow.
And that was I was in my 20s. I mean, I'm 68 now, but yeah, it was, and then to follow that whole news system at that time. And another thing I wanted to mention was that, people need to calm down and let this investigation take its course, Let's let it run its course so they can get a conviction of this guy. Let it take its course. Let the police do their job. Let them actually focus on what's actually right there and not worry about the public. Try to work on these children's cases. They're not children. They are children, but they're young adults. The worst thing, my son was getting ready to graduate with his BA in history, and he died 2 months before he was, able to do that. So, let the investigators run their course. Do it however best they can,
Yeah, I don't think anybody's not letting them do it. You know what I mean?
No, I know, but let them leave them alone. Let them do their thing. They want to get a conviction. This is actually the guy. He's innocent until proven guilty. And it seems to be the reverse nowadays. Just let it run its course, and hopefully they have the right guy, and hopefully, they can prove he's the right guy.
Yeah. All right.
That's all I wanted to say, and thank you so much for being patient with me.
Sorry you lost a child. That's terrible. Sorry about that.
It is.
Yeah. All right. Have a good
All right.
one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, probably nothing worse, really. 516, you're on. Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Hello, who's this?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, who's this?
This is Mike.
Well, what's going on, Mike?
Nothing much. So yeah, I was actually doing a little research on some serial killers, and that he might actually be influenced by. And like you mentioned, Ted Bundy. I definitely think he was influenced by Ted Bundy. But one thing I definitely thought about when I first saw this guy, like I mentioned before, was the American Psycho, and I mentioned Scream. Definitely the movie Scream. Have you ever seen it?
I don't know if I've seen that all the way through or anything.
Okay. So yeah, pretty much Scream was based on the Gainesville Ripper, Danny Rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing a little bit of research on him, and it looks like Bryan Kohberger might actually be an actual complete copycat of Danny Rolling. It looks like he did, exactly almost the same crime where there was he went inside an apartment, killed about 4 girls, and killed one guy, and he actually used a K-bar knife as well. Is what reports are saying. He used a K-bar, and he decapitated one female. And I'm not even gonna finish the rest, but yeah, man, I think he's
maybe he got like a hybrid of a whole bunch of stuff from his teacher. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure, definitely. I think he was definitely researching all these killers, and I mean, man, when I saw he used a K-bar knife, I'm reading this, man, I'm like, what in the hell? Like, that's insane. This guy is like a complete copycat, but it's interesting. I hope they definitely don't give him the death penalty, because I feel like they need to definitely interview this guy and just try to get a better understanding of what the hell went wrong with him and what's wrong with him and how to possibly stop this if that's even possible. Because it's just fucked up to for someone to just come into someone's house and just it keeps happening. I mean, I'm researching these cases, and it's just repeating itself constantly. It's just, if you look into the Danny Rollins case, it's just like a complete copycat of this case here. It's just messed up, man. But hopefully justice gets taken care of.
Yep, that'd be great. Yeah, well, maybe he's got took things from each few different people. We'll have to see how.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Definitely believe that he was just researching. Looking at that questionnaire, he was definitely interested in the psychology and how to get things done. He was definitely researching these guys, I think, obsessively, just looking to see how he could get this done. And I actually. Some guy on YouTube actually brought up some good points. There was actually murders done around the area that are actually unsolved still.
Yeah, we've already gone over all those.
Oh, you went over the couple and the old lady that got killed?
Yeah. That was really early on in the case when people were trying to associate them.
Connect them.
There's one near Oregon and one over there. And,
yeah. What do you think about that? I mean, you think possibly his kills?
I mean, when you say possibly, I guess. But, I mean, he wasn't there. See, here's how we got to look at it. He came out here in August of this year all the way from Pennsylvania. So it's not likely that he's related to those. Now, that dog that was killed, that was in October. So, I guess you could throw him in there for possibly doing that. But I really doubt he drove all the way out there, did those murders, and then all the way back. And then,
One thing they did mention was that a possible connection between him and him just going all around these places was because these areas were actually big vegan areas. They had they had vegan restaurants there that were strictly vegan, and they're saying that might be a connection between these victims, because it turns out these victims were actually strictly vegan. It turns out, so I think that's actually
I don't know.
think that's
There's stuff
actually
like that's just a little too much.
interesting.
Yeah, maybe it just seems just a little too much. Like, I mean, how do we even prove any of that shit? See, a lot of times people
Right,
get on
it-
YouTube and they say stuff, and just for
Yeah.
selling a story, and it turns out it's just really vague shit. Like, oh yes, they do have
Right.
vegan options at a restaurant. Oh, they're a vegan restaurant. Oh yeah, and then this one.
Right.
So they go on and on and on, and then the whole story is woven that really isn't true at all. So I guess we'd have to,
Right.
you know, I don't really feel like
I think that's
researching.
something to investigate. I think they need to investigate that at least.
Well, they did.
At least because I feel.
Well, they already did. Don't you remember
Oh,
in the early press conferences they said that they can't find a connection to them.
Oh, okay. No, this is the first time I'm hearing it today. Actually, the first time I even heard about this.
Oh wow!
These
Yeah.
other murders.
Man, you're late.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
like the first week of them being murdered, were when all those
Wow.
cases were talked about.
Oh, okay. Wow. I heard about it today. I'm like, wow, that's a connection to me. I mean, they need to look into this.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But okay. Wow. So I
All
mean,
right.
there's another psychopath out there, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. We gotta. Hopefully, we can get that probable cause document soon.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. I definitely want to see what evidence they got going on. But yeah, definitely tune in. I hope you have a good night.
All right, man. Have a good one. Bye. Yeah, those other killings. Remember that was early on in the case, right away, right off the bat. People were trying to associate them with that couple. Well, I guess it was one of them. The guy was killed trying to save his wife, and she was stabbed like, I don't know, 18, 20 times and lived. It was that one. I guess they could ask her, hey, did the guy look anything like Bryan Kohberger? Yeah, all right, let me get this one. 507, you're on.
Hi, Greg. It's Ink Twin 9.
It's Ink
Can you
Twin
hear
9.
me?
How's it going? Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, it's good. Gosh, it's good to talk to you for a couple of months. I've been sitting here watching you, but I just haven't called in. But tonight I just had to because I just needed to tell you a few things. So first off, let me just tell you that your work is exemplary, okay? Every night I get off work, I race in here and turn on my TV, and I try to catch up with everything that any of these short videos that you've had during the day that I haven't seen. And it's just your work. You are a true journalism person. That's it.
Well, I try. Well, I guess one thing I could say is I'm not the one that goes out and gets the story. I just put a bunch of the stories together in a way, and try to look through them in a rational way. So it's hard to actually be the one that is there, you know, getting a hold of the guy at the restaurant to talk about something, that kind of thing. But
right. But what I can say from when I put you up against the other YouTubers that are out there, here's the difference between you and them. And I want everybody out there that's listening and anybody that rewinds this or watches it a day or two or whatever in the future. What you do different than everybody else is you take the information and you build it yourself, just like you've spent the hours putting the floor plan together. Nobody else out there is doing this kind of stuff. What I see out there when I just flick through, you know, what's out there, these other YouTubers, they sit there and they put on the videos from other, you know, like Nancy Grace or whatever, and then they make comments of it. That's not what you're doing. Yeah. You're actually putting and building this case. And I'm telling you, it is so impressive. People need to take the time. Now, the point that I wanted to make and the reason why I really wanted to call, well, more than just to tell you that, was that as soon as I got off work tonight, I came in here and I saw the video that you put on today, the short one about the video cam of the first, you know, them pulling him over. Mm-hmm. And I watched, now I've got this on my 75-inch TV, and I watched that video, and I went frame by frame through it. And at time, now this is on your video, at timestamp 6:03, when he is pulling out his he gets really uncomfortable when he has to go get his driver's license. Mm-hmm. And if you notice in the video, he's turned to the right. He keeps holding or keeping that right hand kind of tucked over. It's like he keeps kind of fidgeting with it as they're talking. And at timestamp 6:03, when you look at his wrist, up part of his wrist where his sleeve comes up.
Mm-hmm. Now you just kind of cut out.
And after he comes and puts his arm back, just for a split second there, you can see where he, and it's just so minute, you can see where when he puts his arm back down, he reaches under, or he reaches his sleeve, and he pulls it down like he's trying to get that sleeve down back over his arm while they're talking. And the uncomfortableness and the way he's going back and forth was just that. I mean, the guy is a total, absolute creeper. I mean, look at that face. Oh my God, it gives me nightmares. But oh my God, he's just a freako. Yeah. Oh my God, no wonder no ever woman. If that face came at me at night, oh my God. But anyway, okay. So then when he goes back to reach for his driver's license back from the cop, he pulls with his left hand. No, handed, and somebody's going to your normal reaction is to go and take your right hand to reach back to take it, not your left. He purposely goes just over his body to reach.
Do you think it's possible that you're? Do you think it's possible you're overanalyzing?
No.
Okay, because you do that a lot. You've called in many times where I've had to say, "There you go."
No, I'm not overanalyzing, Gray. I'm telling you, this is the things that I see, and this is the work that you put out. This is where people should be watching, because these are the things that you notice. This is where the facts of the case are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, the things that I would say, like, the thing is that I said was early on that they should do forensic genetic genealogy if they have DNA, and voila, that's what they did. I said that the white Elantra, the moment they said we want to find we need to talk to the driver of the Elantra, I knew they were looking for the killer who owned that car right at that moment. And there's a whole bunch of things like that I've said on the show, and if you put all those together, it'd be like, oh wow, it's
right. And
so Holly G said in that those images were 7 weeks old, but they're not. That was from the 15th. Those body camera images, so that means they are only a month and maybe a day or so after the murders.
Right.
So there you go.
So you know that the work that you've done when you've put the house together and everything. And I mean, I sat here one night, it was a Saturday night, and when you first started putting that together, and I wasn't feeling good, and I watched that, and just to watch you build it, and it's just amazing the way you can put this stuff together. But the thing that's going to be really interesting is now once we get the facts of the case and we see, and you continue to build on that house, it's really giving a visual. You're going to be able to finish. You're every day you keep building on it, and you keep showing more. And just like with the Jodi Arias case, when you had that put together and how you can see actually visually how that case put together. I mean, sometimes people they learn by hearing, reading, and visual. And if you're a visual person, to be able to see that put together, and now as the case
I had people complaining. I had people complaining. Like, I played the video in the background while I was just talking, and they go, "Why do you keep playing that?" Well, I don't know, because every time you watch it, people get I right now could walk into that house and know exactly where I was going, and that's how everybody should be. Right. There shouldn't have any, because there's still idiots out there that keep saying that things that aren't correct at all, because they're not aware. They just sort of say, "Yeah, the roommates below were not below any of the other rooms." Well, that's not true at all, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes your channel so good, is because, and as like I say, as the case progresses and you can put the different things into that house, I mean, the work that you've done would be so easy for the FBI or the police or whatever the case to say, look at this, and use your visual in court as far as a display, as to watch how it goes. I mean, it's just what you do. I just want to tell you thank you, because I just really enjoy watching you and watching the case. The job that I do, I'm like a Sherlock. I have to problem solve all day long and look for those little niches and those little things that make a difference in people's lives. And so when you say maybe I overanalyze, maybe that's just my background, that I look for those little details. But I'm that thing today with the pullover and stuff, and I noticed that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, his body language. And that guy, he's creepy. He's trying to be a wannabe. He really is. He's trying to be a wannabe, And God, that face.
Maybe we'll
that
take a look
those
at your
eyes.
that little part of what you're talking about. But I'm gonna have to. I'll try it right at the end of the show. If my computer crashes, I'm not coming back on because it's going to be Adobe Premiere open, and there's a conflict with OBS, and it just sort of every once in a while just crashes. So.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to call and tell you that, and that little snippet of that. There's so many things of the case. I could sit here and just shoot the crap with you all for evening. I mean, I could hear you just easily talk to, but I can't do it over the show. It'd be hours I could spend talking to. But anyway, that's just a little.
I mean, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I sometimes and your compliments. But I remember, like, we've had other calls where I have to go, no, come on. Right?
I know, and that's why I don't call in, because I can't help myself. I'm like the promoter of, because I can't stand being nonsense and BS.
No, you can call in whenever you want to. Just realize that whenever I see something that seems a little imaginative or whatever, I might say, yeah, I don't know, man, that seems kind of...
Oh, great minds think alike, and I don't know, like I told you before, stuff. But anyway, hi, freaks, and,
Being Twin 9.
I haven't called in.
You've been around forever. How long have you been watching this channel for?
Oh, well, I've been a Megazoid for a year now, but I've been watching longer than that.
Oh, you've been around for a lot longer.
But it's been a long time. I've been following you for a long time. I like what you do, and like I said, I'm a Sherlock in my job, and that's what they nicknamed me. So I'm into that for solving problems.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, Ink Twin 9. Call back again. All right. See you later. You're kind of cut out your audio, so can I go?
Oh, okay. Anyway, bye, freak.
Bye.
Talk to you later.
You see you. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
You know what's weird is how the trolls come out. Like these people, like, enough gaslighting. What? Bye. I'm gonna have to hide you from the channel there, Tina. Go find another one.
Go find another one.
Hello. This is going to be a troll, but what's going on?
Jenny.
Oh my God! Why do you have call-in user?
I don't know. That's why I was like, all of a sudden it went dead. Like.
Well, yeah, I have to hang up on the call-in user once, so you have to try to figure something else. Okay.
I don't know why it has it. Like, maybe I don't know. It's weird, huh?
I can't believe I gave it a chance. I almost hung up on that one.
Thanks for giving it a chance.
Yeah.
First off, I wanted to say, like, man, these last two cases, I mean, you're always good at what you do, always. But these last, like, couple cases, you've, like, kind of been using the spirit box, huh? Because you've been dead on a lot of things,
The spirit box, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what it is, but, like, for example, him being pulled over twice, to me, was not going to be random. And that's why I do the poll questions, like, and try to get people to see what I'm seeing. Because if you just say it, they go, I don't know. But if you get to a poll and you kind of explain what's going on, and then they go, yeah. So,
mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I feel like that second pullover was a little bit of a oops, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
even though he's the one that got that guy got the better shot of the hand, though.
Yeah, he did. He did. The other one got a great shot of his own shoes, though.
Yeah, that was fantastic. No. Here's the thing: the guy that got the great shot of the hand is the one that shot his shoes too. I mean, so he quickly goes over. You see his hand sitting there, and then he goes down to the ground. The other guy got more facial shots because it was a full-on talking, and then he handed the license, but it's not really that great. But yeah, it's weird how that all played out. I wonder, it's almost like the first guy goes, man, I didn't quite get enough stuff here. Calls down to the next guy, hey, pull that guy over. Can you get a little bit of shot? And that guy's was worse because he got like 1 second and you see his hand, but then it shoots the ground the whole time.
I feel like the first guy was like, I did a fine job, and the second guy was like, yeah, I'm gonna like working it up, like, oh, I'm gonna pull over the guy. The FBI wants me to pull over the guy, and then he walks up on him, like, oh yeah, we already got pulled over. He's like, oh really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Oh well, yeah,
But,
and here's the thing is, if he'd already been pulled over for tailgating, and then this guy is tailgating and he pulls him over and he goes, yeah, we were just pulled over a minute ago for tailgating. Oh well, we'll let you go then. We don't want to. No, you give him a ticket now because now you've done it twice. See, that's the reality of the world right there. But instead, he leaves in like less than 2 minutes. He's out of there.
Did you hear the guy say, I know, it was weird. Did you hear, I think it must have been the first pullover, he was like, yeah, so if, you know, you're 7 feet, what did he say? Like, you need to be 7 car lengths behind the vehicle or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, he said for every 10 miles an hour, it's another car length. Yeah.
It was weird. But,
like,
anyway.
it kind of makes sense. If you're going 70 miles an hour, you don't want to be anywhere near 1 car length behind the car in front of you, because if they slam on the brakes.
I agree. Yeah. But I feel like no one really ever does that. But anyway, but I've never really, I've only been pulled over one time, and it wasn't really pulled over. It was like, yeah, it was weird. Anyway, but what I also wanted to say was about the Ted Bundy thing. I don't know. The Danny Rawlings guy that the couple callers before, and then the caller the other night brought up, he actually, one of his motives was that he wanted to be famous like Ted Bundy, and he actually named Ted Bundy.
So maybe it's like a combination or something. Because in mine is he moved from Pennsylvania all the way to Washington. That just seems so.
No, I understand. Yeah. But the actual and I can feel, I totally get all your similarities and stuff that you've pointed out. But the thing that's different that I think about is like Bundy kind of lured the people in. You know, he didn't quite like stalk them. He kind of lured them in and like got them in his car.
Except in the Chi Omega one, he did go into there and do. That's why I'm relating it to the Chi Omega. The other one, he tricked people like, oh, I got a broken arm. You know, help me out.
Right.
You know?
He did, yeah, he did. But the other part of it was like there was like Bundy didn't stab people though. You know, he bludgeoned them and strangled people and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was an element of sexual assault there too. You know, and same thing with the Rawlings guy. There was rape. But that guy did stab people. So I don't know.
So maybe it's a combo. That's what I'm saying. Like he takes the best. Like he's trying to find. His teacher's a serial killer expert, so he's listening to all these ones. Yeah, if I can sneak in like Bundy, and then I use a K-bar knife like Rollins, and then I do. You know, who knows? Maybe there's a couple more in there. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not that at all. I just honestly like these cases that you've been covering in the last. You know, these last kind of big ones that have been happening, like I don't even form an opinion. I feel like it's been a long time since I've been like, yeah, it's got to be like this. It's like this. These days, after, you know, listening to you so much, it's like, I kind of just sort of like, yeah, that makes sense. But it could be anything, you know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to like have like a really strong, like, it's definitely this. Like, but I
don't know 100% that he's emulating Bundy or anything. I just thought there was enough similarities that were kind of like. So it was interesting. Kind of seemed like he tried to make his hair even look a little like him later.
Yeah, he looks like him. I totally agree with you on that. I agree with everything that you've said in terms of like the similarities. It's kind of creepy, you know. I mean, it's not kind of creepy. It is creepy, but. Yeah,
but even with that, it could just be totally random. But see, that's what people were saying about the getting pulled over twice. Oh, it's probably just random. Or the white Elantra. No, they're really just looking for the people that were driving it. You know, so the thing is, you got all these people, but I just try to look at things and go, you know, I mean, obviously it's way more speculative to wonder if he was a Bundy fan and trying to copy that than some of the other stuff, but it's kind of the same way my mind works, you know, just looking at like, wow, what are the odds that you'd have all those things. He chose to go, I'm in Pennsylvania, I'm going to move all the way to Washington, because Bundy did that one time. Maybe, right?
Right.
Because that's like, why he could have picked anywhere to go. He could have gone a whole bunch of places, but he goes all the way from Pennsylvania to Washington. You know, and then it's sort of a off-campus sorority party house, but, you know, it's not a sorority. You know, so I mean, you can go through the whole thing, the time of the night, the same day of the week, blah, 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 blah.
And didn't Bundy didn't like break in, that there was a faulty lock on the door of the sorority house, right? In that one?
I think they said that, and then he broke in, he sort of broke through the screen door on the other off-campus person.
Yeah, I think there was a faulty lock. That's what I remember for some reason. But I don't know. Ugh, gross. Oh, I totally agree with, like, when you were talking about the 7 minutes, like, between the two things, it was like, yeah, that's too much of a coincidence. Like, that means that these police have nothing to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way to...
Yeah. And what's weird is then it made him freak out a little bit. Because you can see his face. He's totally, like, got this total... eyes are squint, you know, he's freaking out. Because now he's like, wait, they're onto me. They're onto me right now.
For sure. He's got buggy eyes to begin with, you know, like those pictures. To me, he has, like, in the one, I don't know if it was a mugshot, but it was one of those pictures that came out of him in a button-down shirt, and he has, like, total Adam Lanza eyes. It's crazy to me. But, yeah, he has, like, super buggy eyes to begin with, but he really had buggy eyes on that second pullover. That's crazy. What was the other thing I was going to say? I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah, good job. It's been really fun to watch the channel grow and stuff, and with all these cases.
I mean, I feel sort of bad because, I mean, the thing is, I feel like I offer something different than everybody else, but I mean, normally I cover sort of a way wider variety of stuff, but there seems like every day there's some kind of an article or something to talk about, to add into the mix, you know.
It's like every day there's like a ton of like breaking news throughout the day, you know? Well, some of it's not really breaking news, but you know what I mean? This is like a really fast-paced, like it wasn't fast-paced, you know? It was like at a dead halt, it seemed like.
Yeah.
But now it's like it's just ever-changing, you know? Oh, also what I was going to say was the thing about another reason I thought, you know, obviously now we know that they knew to pull him over and they had their eyes on him. I think it's been a while. Like, I think you've said that too, because the police that guy just seemed the fact that they had no reward, and, you know, there was like, the guy was just like very calm. It seemed like the sheriff or whatever he is that kept on.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about there's no reward because they're on to somebody. That's
know who it is.
And that was spent early. I think they probably were on to him since early December. His name. I
think so too. I think when they got that DNA back, you know, like that they had some DNA, I think then they plugged that in pretty quickly. I mean, the other thing, I also think that I keep going back and forth. Did the dad have some, no, why did he drive out there, stuff like that, you know? But that is a long drive, a super long drive to do on your own. But the thought that I had also was that they wanted to get that car out of there as soon as possible. And the one thing that gets me about that pullover, the second one, is that the dad's making like weird forced small talk. Like, why did he, again, we talked about it, you talked about it earlier. Why did you bring up that mass shooting when they're nowhere near there? You know, like, it's very strange.
It seemed like they were trying to like throw him off. Yeah. Shiny ball. Think about the other shooting over here. Whoa, you know.
Yeah, but I felt like it was like weird small talk, you know, like forced, like, again, as a distraction. It was just, the whole thing is just weird. That guy is definitely creepy looking, and I also agree with you that his does look puffy, you know. It looks, I mean, if he hurt himself, he's not going to go to the hospital after the murders and stuff. If he cut himself really bad, he wouldn't go to the hospital because that's kind of a giveaway, you know.
Yeah. So he might have just been self-healing or something.
Fix his hand.
Yeah.
I think he would have just like grinned and bore it. Is that the right way to put it? Doesn't matter. Anyway,
something.
I know there's some things that I forgot to say that I was going to say, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it's been kind of cool to get, like getting a lot more, subscribers and the channel doing better. But what I hope is that, like, even when it never happens, but when you cover something else that the same people watch, but
but I mean, we talked about this before. I feel like when you have done cold cases intermixed, like in the past, it was like a steady amount of like, I don't know, 250, 300 or something. Like you could count on that being every night, and then sometimes it'd be more, that kind of thing, but pretty much on average. But now even when you were doing the cold cases in between, there'd still be like 700, 800 people in there.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah. I feel like the average of people that show up every night has gone up. So I feel like I think people are going to keep on coming back. I think, and it's a long time coming. Like this should have been the case like long ago, because
Well, I think I just need to do like a little bit, some current stuff and mix in the cold cases instead of just like 8 weeks in a row of cold cases.
Right. I mean, I like that personally.
Yeah,
I kind of like the series, but no, this has been really good. But man, that house is crazy. It's totally creepy. I hate the music. But I mean, I'm not a fan of that music, but
oh, come
that
on,
was crazy.
Love it.
No, I don't. I feel the same way about that music as I feel about The Fly and The Fly story. It's just the grossest.
I'm gonna tell the story in a few minutes just for you. Okay?
No, please don't. Please don't.
The vomit.
I don't like that story because I feel like, and this has been like since I was a kid, I think flies have a smell to them, I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's a distinct smell of a fly, and maybe there's not, but for me there is. And so when you tell that story and I think about the large amount of flies, it literally makes me like want to throw up. Like bad. It's the worst. Oh, no. Please don't tell this. I mean, yeah, you could tell the fly story, but I'm going to go away then. And then I'll come back later because I hate that story. It's just too gross to me. Anyway, I'll get off the phone now. Have a good night.
Okay,
Bye.
thanks for calling. Bye. She always just hangs right up. There you go. See you later. All right, let's see. 337. You're on.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, it's KK.
What's going on? I saw that same shot earlier because it's right next to the camera. It's close.
Yeah, I got that from your video.
Yeah, no, it's really close to the camera, so you can see the pores on his hands because it's like literally an inch from the camera. But all I'm talking about is the amount of shine that's in a small little area. That only happens when it's a very tight skin where a light reflects that sharply. If your skin isn't tight, it spreads out the specularity, I guess they call it, at a wider angle, much like the older guy's face. Now his nose, it got bright, shiny right on the end because that was a really tight area on people's face. So there you go. Hello?
I agree with that. It could possibly be swollen. On set, we call them hot spots. The lighting creates like shine sometimes when there's not shine there, or it'll exaggerate, shine that is there. So, I mean, that could be what it's from because, like you said, it always hits people. Like when I do Fox News or CNN, it always hits like men on their foreheads, or if they're balding, it'll hit on that back of their head where the bald spot's at because the skin's tight. It's just the lighting that does it. So, I mean, it could definitely just be a hot spot on his hand, but it also, I mean, it could probably.
Yeah, but you're only going to get a hot spot that's that sharp. If it's
but they show up in weird places.
Like
sometimes.
It's kind of like swollen. But that's when you're on set with lights. This is like completely, you're just sort of outside normal conditions. Yeah, maybe the sun came in there. But if the sun's going to make a spot like that on his hand, then that means the skin's tight there, and it looked like he was just resting. So, I mean, I'm just looking at my hand. When my hand's sitting there, there's veins. You know, you can sort of see bones or something. His is really smooth and sort of puffy. But I don't really give a shit. I mean, they were. But here's the thing. Guess what? They pulled him over to get shots of his hands. So they must have been suspicious about something on his hands.
I definitely agree with you on that for sure. They were that adamant about pulling him over twice just to see his hands and get that on footage. So I'm certain that whenever he got fingerprinted and all that and they took his mug shot, they're definitely going to take some photos, I feel like, of those hands. And eventually it'll come out, whatever it is. You know, hopefully we get to hear about the importance of having to pull him over twice to get pictures of his hands, you know? And so that'll be cool. I'm just glad that the whole, like, cut on his wrist kind of got debunked because that wasn't there. You know, you can see it in that picture that I screenshotted off of your video earlier today. The one I sent you, like that cut's completely gone. And I mean, on Facebook and those groups, like all day long, it was people saying, "Oh my God, it's a cut! Oh my God, it's sutures."
Yeah, I mean, it could just be a shadow. You know, I put it on my thumbnail. Lighting, like, you know, what's this? You know, because just I guess that was more of a clickbaity kind of thing, but not really. It was like
it was so annoying. So many people believed it. It reminded me of the Debbie Collier case when everybody was like, "She's wearing a wig. It's a wig. It's a wig," and it's like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, no, it was never a wig. Yeah.
It's like, you know, that people get bored and they want to, and you say it all the time, like you want to see things that aren't really there because you want them to be guilty so bad, or you want your theory to like relate so hard that you're going to be like, yeah, that's definitely a cut and it's stitches, and it's just not, you know, lighting and pixelated and crappy quality camera, and like that one cop that went and didn't even get any footage, poor thing, like he got.
You ever watch what's that show, Game of Thrones? You guys ever watch that back in the day? With Tyrion Lannister, the little person. He's like one of my favorite people in the show, but he said something like, just wanting, let's see, what is it? You wanting to believe something doesn't make it true. Yeah. So that line is one of the things I always remember. It's like, you know, people want something to be true, therefore it is in their mind, but it doesn't mean it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I did the makeup. I did the guy that played Bryan C, the bad guy. Ewan is his name in real life. I did his makeup on the show.
Oh yeah.
Super nice guy. But yeah, no, that was my point. Like, yeah, it could definitely be swollen. Like, I can give you that. Like, it could be swollen. We'll find out, you know, what it is. I'm just glad that the whole cut thing is over. That was going to become, you know, Debbie Collier wig, you know, all day, every day. And that was just crazy. We want him to be guilty, right? If he's guilty, but that cut wasn't there. And I kind of feel like, I almost feel like the more we sit here and talk about it, like with all your shows today, I almost feel like, do you feel like maybe Bryan kind of was catching on? Like that's why he looked so nervous and tweaked out, because he kind of was suspicious, like they're not asking for registration.
That's what I said on the second one. He's probably like, what's going on here? You guys just pulled me over. Are they on to me? Are they on to me? And that's why he had that weird look on his face. And then he was surprised. And he kept saying,
he was looking at his dad.
He was surprised when he told the cop, hey, cop, I was tailgating somebody else. And yes, I was just tailgating again. And then the cop goes, oh, see you later. You know, somebody else already told you I'm out of here. Man, that never happens. It'd be like, he'd be saying, so somebody already told you? We're going to have to give you a ticket for that.
Right, your second warning, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting that, like, growing up, my dad was a cop, and I thought it was pretty interesting, like, what they always tell you, you know, if you know anything about law enforcement, is when you get pulled over, you're supposed to keep your both hands on the steering wheel where they can see you, because they'll let the cop know that you're not a threat. And I thought it was kind of strange that he's, like, such a smart, you know, PhD scholar or whatever for criminology, but he made it a point kind of to curl his hands a lot. Like, you could tell he almost wanted them not be super visible, even though, you know, they just weren't on the steering wheel like you would have thought they'd be. Like, for being in criminology, like, that's Cop Kid 101 in criminology. You know, you put both hands on the steering wheel, they're visible, so you're not a threat. He just wouldn't do that. He was reluctant, you know, on doing that.
Yeah, well, definitely I'm going to try to, maybe later I'll try to, right at the end, try to play the first pullover in slow-mo. See what happens.
Yeah, the best picture I got, because it's only visible on camera twice. Once in each video. The best one is the one that I screenshotted of your video earlier and sent you. That one I feel like is the best one where you can see, as far as the cut goes.
But
the part, I don't know.
But I do, well, I mean, I can decide on what, you know, like which one I think. I'm going to do like slow and maybe zoom in a little bit and use the original footage and see what it does.
And they're out there now. I'm thinking about there was a close up on his hands whenever he was in court yesterday. Somebody blew that up on Facebook, like the hands clasped together.
Right, and the more you blow it up, the more injuries you see because people start seeing the artifacts and the pixels. Yeah, they'll probably zoom it in all the way in on like so far in that you don't even see the shape of the hand. But man, that's definitely a cut.
Well, this one was surprisingly pretty clear. Like you could see his fingertips were like he was clenched them, I guess, so hard. You could see that his fingertips were kind of getting discolored and turning like that yellow color whenever you start to lose circulation in your fingertips. I don't know if you've ever done that, but two of his fingers were doing that. It's pretty weird. Like I was kind of impressed.
But the stuff that we're seeing, the stuff we're seeing now though is 18 days after he was pulled over, even more than that. 20 days ago. So if you see
it the 13th when he got pulled over, they said?
Well, he got pulled over on the 15th, twice.
For about a month, roughly.
Yeah, so now we're at
I don't know, I mean, it might
4th.
still be swollen.
Well, it was a month in when he got pulled over, but the one when he was on film in court was just recently. So that would have been 15, then 16 days until the 31st, and then you add like 1 or 2, so then you're looking at 18 days ago was when he was pulled over, and some injuries could heal by then, right?
For sure.
Yep. All right.
I guess like we say, if it was important enough for them to pull him over twice, then they're trying to use it at some point.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll have access to that, along with everything else.
Yep. All right. Well, see, it wasn't too bad, right?
We always
I'm just not in the greatest mood tonight because I just, that was. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I get it. Totally, I get it. Like to be kind of, maybe not even intentionally snubbed, but to be snubbed always kind of.
Yeah, especially on that case. At the end of the day, Greg,
but you know why we do it. At the end of the day, like the freaks do it because you love supporting what you do.
Yeah,
and
but the more, but here's the thing. But if you get your, like if your channel gets promoted like that, then more people come over and support what you're doing, and then you can help even more and do more. That's the thing.
That's one way to look at it for sure. But you can also look at it like as everything happens for a reason, and like maybe that was 3,000 trolls to steal a bunch of free memberships that we didn't need anyway.
Well, that's true.
I mean, it definitely could be a bunch of shitbag people that we didn't want, in the chat anyway, just loosening up all the memberships. So there's that.
It's crazy how that when you give away the memberships, it seems like there should be a troll finder. Has this person typed negative comments on this channel? You don't get a membership,
Well, it'd be nice if you could suggest to YouTube that, like, let the people who buy the member, or let the host of the show pick who gets those. That'd be nice, a nice suggestion if they listen to y'all.
Yeah, well, we should get a list of people or something. I don't know.
A sign-up list, like a waiting list to get on it. Like that lady that kept begging you for one last night.
Yeah, well, you can't choose. I don't think I saw that, but yeah, you can't really choose it.
She was real needy about it. She asked about 10 times. She was like, I'm begging you, Gray, please give me a membership. More like it doesn't work that way, lady.
Yeah. Oops. All right.
$2. Get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was great talking to you, and I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you spending pretty much your entire day with us.
Well, thanks. Hey, thanks for calling in, KK. Have a good one. All right.
You're welcome. You too. Bye. Bye, freaks.
Right. And by the way, let's see. Thank you up there to Holly G, American Lady, Kathy Shiflett, and there was some more up above it. I can't scroll up any farther. What does that mean, Karen? That doesn't even make any sense. All right, let's see. 904, you're on.
Hi. Okay, sorry, I was getting rid of my YouTube stream.
Who's this?
This is Saren.
As in serendipity?
Absolutely. I am so sorry if I've got this wrong, but I swear it's you. And before I even reached out to you, I went and scrolled to try and find this. May I digress from Idaho for 1 second?
Yeah, I gotta thank somebody. Yeah, you can do it. I just gotta say thanks to 8675309. She said, maybe listening to an uplifting song would lift your spirits. And it was... No, not that one. No, this one. It's this one right here. Hold on a second. I'm trying to find the one. There it is. And then she said, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, 100K, 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 100K. Boom. Okay, there we go. So thanks, 8675309. I did it for you, okay? All right, go ahead. So what was the other case?
So I was holding on the line. Did you just make 100K?
The other day I did, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were way over that.
No, like 100. Yeah. It's taken me a long time because, like I said, I just, the last 3 months I've been covering bigger cases, and it seems to have made a huge difference. Like I was just slowly moving over the years because I don't do mainly, this has been a different time right here, but in general, I don't cover the big cases all the time, so there you go.
Okay, so that's a perfect entree into my question. And I apologize in advance if this is not you, but I swear it was you. So I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, and there was a case about Jared Britigan. He was the father, Microsoft executive that dropped his kids off.
Oh, yeah, we've covered that one. We covered that, yeah.
Right. Okay, Thank you. I went back to your channel
times.
And I could not find that video, but I knew it was you.
Yeah, well, I might not. I think I put a lot of videos on private. Just I don't know. There were just so many videos that weren't doing anything, so I figured I don't know if that helps or what that does for the algorithm or something, but we did cover it.
You're not wrong because you did, and you did an amazing job because she was a single mom that was not having a lot of coverage, and you did such. The reason that I brought it up is I was watching you earlier when.
How do you spell that name, by the way? That name, BR, like.
Bridegan.
There it is.
And yeah. Jared is okay. But earlier tonight you were talking about the coordinates about the stop, and you had said at one point, "I'm sorry if I'm boring all, not that I care, but I was like, if anybody that watches you, like, they shouldn't be bored. You do this deep dive." And what I wanted to say to you is, I've actually gone on, not panel, but I've called in on other cases. But that one is close to home for me. And you're right, it went cold. And it's so obvious what happened, but you did this crazy deep dive in a town that you know nothing about, but you were so spot on. So all I wanted to say is, anybody gave up because they thought you were being boring, like, you do the things that we all want to do, but we all probably get bored to do or whatever. I just wanted to confirm that you were in fact the person to do that, because this case has gone cold and it's heartbreaking, and it's nothing that, like, you could do more. It's really just very sketchy and all that stuff. I just wanted to give you kudos because I could sit and listen to you in a 3-hour live stream while I'm cleaning the house, and then I'll turn on the video when you're going down coordinates. Nobody else does that on YouTube.
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at it again. Yeah. I remember how crazy this one. For those of you who don't know, there was I think it was a father who had an ex-wife, and they had they shared custody. And he dropped his 2 kids off at a woman named Shannon Lee Gardner. I'm looking at it right now. Fernandez's house. And then after dropping the kids off at the house, he drove like this, right down this road. All right, just exactly how I have it.
I can't.
Well, I'm just showing it, but likely like this, just drove like this, and then takes a little bit of a jog right here, and then right in this spot, there was a tire in the road that he had to stop for, and somebody executed him right there, right in this spot right here. Now, I think somebody parked right across the other street through the water in that other cul-de-sac right here, and then once they got into that car, they drove up like this. And here's what that car did. We have him on surveillance, driving right by there, this camera. Then he drives by a camera right at the police department, and then he would have ended up going here.
It was a truck, right, Greg?
Yeah, it was a truck. And look at where the original house was that her boyfriend, I mean, it's just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah.
And this lady hated him.
I can't see it now.
Yes.
I can't see it now, but I watched it the first time. I need to go back and watch it. But I will say this: I have taken that road many times. It's a back road to get onto J. Turner Butler Boulevard, which is like a main thoroughfare from the beaches out to the other side. You not knowing, can I swear?
Yeah.
On the channel?
I don't care. Yeah.
Not knowing jack shit about this location, and me knowing it so well, I was just so thankful because Kristen, the mother, was just wanting to be heard. You know, he found a love after this crazy woman, and you're right, the ex-wife had a husband that was,
and she's nuts too. Like, she looks like she's a body, like a weightlifting, huge lady.
She started doing CrossFit. Yeah.
And it's something but really bad happened here, and she wouldn't even let her kids go to the memorial service. I think something like that. It was just
exactly
nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm remembering
you
it.
You retain a lot.
I'm remembering it.
You are, and you retain a lot. And I'll tell you something. Like I said, I have taken that back road. Probably, I live somewhere else now in Florida, but I lived there for 4 years. And growing up there, you would never see that kind of situation. So not only did it show you the kind of guy that Jared was to remove a tire out of the road, that happened without cameras. It's dark.
And by the way, one of his toddler was in the car when he was executed.
Yes.
Yeah, don't forget that part.
Because
so that was, he had one, he dropped the other two kids off there, and I think that's because those are the two kids he had with his ex-wife. The baby in the car was the baby that he had with his new wife. Right. So, yeah.
Yes. Yes. All I wanted to say is it just reminded me of that when people are like, "Oh, are you bored?" Because I'm gonna go back and watch it tomorrow because I've been obviously watching all the Idaho stuff tonight. But I wanted to give you kudos because you take the time and you show things that we would not normally see or even get information from law enforcement. You really deep dive into that, and hopefully something will come of this case. It has to. I believe in karma. But if it does, I really hope that you pick it back up because you did. I personally heard from the wife and on social media outlets how thankful she was to you for doing that.
Really? Well, that's
absolutely. Pretty cool. So I'm sorry to take away from Idaho. I just wanted to give you those kudos. And if I hear anything more on the Jared case, I will definitely reach out to you because you should 100% be somebody that's involved in that because you did a deep dive more than any other YouTuber or just sleuth or any of us outside of law enforcement. And it's still a cold case, and it shouldn't be. It's plain as day what happened. So.
It's weird how it's so close to the police department, too. They just drove right by it. Just
so close, yes.
Yeah, it's just boom, right here. And he was just driving back to his house over here. I mean, where, Shannon's house. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And there were all those reports about how he was, coming up against neighbors and threatening to shoot their pets and all that kind of stuff. He's not a good guy. She clearly got into the CrossFit, probably between you and I, you know, and I kind of hate putting this stuff on YouTube because, you know, it's always going to come back to me. But that girl went down a different path. Her family was very wealthy. Met this, didn't want to go down that Mormon life. Met this sketchy guy. Probably started taking some testosterone, which would change her mental, you know, attitude, etc., with a really not good guy. And it's just really sad, but it's one of the most outstanding cases in all of my life here in Jacksonville.
I mean, everybody knows the answer to this case. They just can't prove it. That's the problem. But anyways, yeah, I got a bunch of other
yeah, you go back. I just wanted to give you kudos. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Very nice. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay, you take care. Bye.
Yeah, so I'll just go talk about it again for a minute. Things are coming back to me. So he lived right here. This is where they lived. Now, if you look at this, you wouldn't know anybody lived there, but that's because this is what it looks like now. So they lived in this house, and then he had two sort of young kids, like 13, 14-year-old kids, girls, I don't know exactly their ages, that were from a previous marriage with this lady that looks like a shot putter from Yugoslavia. And so anyways, they must have drove that night because he had to drop him off. He had his baby with him that he had with his new wife. And then he drove just like this. You can see how it would go. So they drive by here, just like that, and then up here, then down this freeway, and around, and eventually making it up to this area over here, probably taking this loop, and then right, let's see, how would you get off of there? So in that case, probably getting there, you have to drive up to here, take a left, come down, and then you could drive up. And then he was going over to this house right here to drop off the two children. So right at this house, we can just look at it. He was dropping off, and when is this? Oh, this is from 2019. This is where he dropped off the two children that he shared with the woman that lives there. Then after that, he takes off, heads down this direction, down the road like this, makes this turn, comes around like this, and then down in this area, right, let's see, where is that? Yeah, right here, keeps going, and then it's down here where the car has to go to the right, because if you go straight, it just ends up in a cul-de-sac right there. So he would have taken a right, because look how easy this is. Once you get to here, you get back onto the freeway, and boom, you just head right back home exactly like that. Let's see. Yeah, probably down this way, down here, and then boom, right there. So that's how you would have gone home. I mean, that's the quickest way from this house to drive down, and right here on the ground, he was shot to death outside of his car after removing a tire from the road. And the baby was still in the car. I think the killer likely had their car parked on that cul-de-sac right over there, and after shooting the guy, and he knew when he was going to be there, because he got dropped off at his ex-wife's house, right? So what happened right then? The ex-wife said, okay, he just dropped me off. He drives the same way back every single time. It's the only way to go. So the person waited, and I'll tell you what, there might even be two people, because now that I remember how I was thinking about this back then, is when this car takes this turn here, who's watching? Is the guy way back here looking this way and you can see the car coming and then runs across, throws the tire in the street? Or is there somebody here watching further up here? Because you wouldn't want to put the tire out if there was a car in front of him. You would only put the tire out there if you knew for certain that he was the only car that was going to run into it, much like the one of the, what's his name, Ellis, in the Bardstown murders. When they threw the tree down, they knew he was the next car coming. There wasn't going to be another one. So the tire was put on the ground by somebody knowing that he was the next car coming. So that means a call was made. Here he comes. He's leaving. He should be there. And they probably timed it out, figured out how long it would take. And then there was probably another person, or it could even have just been him, perhaps hanging out. Let's see what happens if you're right here. You know, he might be able to look up and see the car coming down like this and then just bolts across, throws a tire over there. But I don't know. It seems like more like there was two people. Then he throws the tire on the ground, shoots him, kills him, runs right across the street from right over here, gets into his truck, and then drives exactly how I have it in this green line right here. Boom. Down like this. Down the road. And then that's where the truck that they wanted people to look at was seen driving by this surveillance camera, this surveillance camera, this surveillance camera, and it drove right here, and look where the original drop-off spot was. Are you kidding me? I mean, where else are you going to go, by the way? So if you drive right here, where else are you going? It's dead end over here. There's nowhere really to go unless you lived in one of these apartments, or you went up this way and then you go on the freeway. But why would you do that when you would just be able to go on the freeway here? So the person driving here was likely going back to the same house where he dropped the kids off. That makes sense? Yeah. So let's see. We lost 70 people during that explanation. See how ridiculous people are? Anyways, I have the whole folder. Maybe I'll have to go back over that case again at some point. It's pretty crazy. I don't know why they haven't made an arrest. They probably just can't prove it. I don't know why they can't prove whose truck that was, though. I think that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I remember somebody saying that. I was just thinking about that, Zozo. I was trying to remember where that was. No, he was just thinking that a person owned that house at another time, another house with the same name. I'm not sure it's the same guy, though. I don't know. Because I guess they run a bakery or something like that. Remember that? Would you guys be interested in hearing about this case again at some point? Just kind of going through it in the articles, and you'll see the surveillance footage shots and the tire on the ground, everything. They've got it all. All right, cool. All right, maybe we'll do that coming up here. I think after the probable cause document is released, I think then there'll be some time where there's nothing going on anymore in the Idaho Four case. They'll be reporting, and we can do updates and whatnot, but pretty soon it's going to be time to start adding other people back into the mix. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, how long have I been? Oh, I got to get these calls. There was another call that was here. All right, 708. Hello? Yep.
This is Rita.
Rita, what's going on? Like Rita Mazzarone? Or a different Rita? What Rita is it? Just some...
Rita Smith.
Oh, Rita Smith. Okay. No, that's Rhea Mazzarone. Never mind. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I sent you an email because this is really bothering me. Because I live in Illinois, but I drive through Indiana, like probably 4 times a month. And I'm wondering why he was driving an I-70. He was going to the Poconos because you would have taken I-80, a good portion of that. Mm-hmm. And I-70 is, I'm wondering if he knew he was being followed or something, and because it just seems like it's way off. That's I-70, they're saying near Indianapolis, is way south.
Is there there's an I-80 in Indiana too?
I-80 goes, for most of that trip, it would have been I-80.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, maybe he did. Wouldn't he just have cut off? Like maybe, I don't know.
Well, he would. I'm thinking. I have no idea why he would be that far south in Indianapolis. That's because I-80 is way up. Way up.
Yeah, he seems more south than he needs to be. Like he should be up in I-80, going up in northern Indiana, going up through northern. Well, where does I-80 go after that? Does it go through?
It goes through Ohio, but it. No, I mean.
Well, it's 90 after that, though, right? I-90. I don't see 80 anymore. It sort of disappeared on me.
I think he could take 80 into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, well, it seems like it goes 80, 80, and then, hold on a second. And then, does it just stop right there? Because all of a sudden, the highway changes to 90 right there in, like, northern Indiana. Well, South Bend, just west of South Bend there. There's no more 80 that I see exiting even. Does it go south at that point? 80?
I think 80 goes all the way from East Coast to West Coast.
Oh, there it is. It's over here now. There. Okay, there's an 80 there. It's also 90 though. So maybe it's like Interstate 80
around
highway. Well, this also says Interstate 90. So I don't know what's going on there.
It's I think around Northwest Indiana, it's 80, 90.
Now it says 80. Maybe it's just an error on Google Earth. So yeah, I see it. Yeah, that doesn't make. Yeah, you're right. Like 80 is what you would take.
And I think that it said they were in Indianapolis or near Indianapolis, which I'm just wondering why they were that far, pretty far south.
Yeah, I mean 80 almost goes right to his house when you look at it. 80 goes. Right, like just south of his house, he would take. Where'd he go? No, actually, you keep going on 80, and then maybe take 115 or something and head down to his house. But yeah, he's just south of Highway 80. So yeah, huh? Weird, taking an unusual route. Maybe so he didn't want to be followed.
And that's why I'm wondering if that's why they said, "Hey, go stop them," because they're not taking the route they're supposed to be taking, or are we tracking the right guy, or if they were following him, and why is he in Indianapolis? Is he, do we have the right guy? Is what I'm wondering. I mean, besides getting a photo of him or a video of the cans or whatever. And another thing, like you were right, because I drive through Indiana all the time, never been stopped. And, once a week, never ever been stopped. So I'm thinking there's something weird there that they're stopping him for that.
I'm gonna see what it says if I go from Indiana and just Pennsylvania, I guess. Does it want me to go through? Yeah, it has Highway 80 the whole time. Well, it does say it's 8 hours and 48 minutes to go on 70 and then I-80. And then it's only 8 hours and 37 minutes to go. It's 8 hours and 43 minutes to just go I-80. And then US 30 East and I-80 is 8 hours and 37 minutes. So you're not really saving a lot of time. It could have been just one of those things where your GPS told you that's a quicker route that day. Because you could easily see if there's a wreck or something that you're going to... 10 minutes could easily be made up. Something like that.
Yeah, it could have been it. If there was some traffic problem, maybe they had him go a different way, but it just seems like it's way out of the way to go that.
Yeah, because he was down here on 70 here. I guess maybe it's one of those things where you feel like you're driving straighter. Because if you go to Indianapolis, I'm not sure. Where does 80 kick in? I'm just trying to look at the map. But 70 is right through Indianapolis. I'm not sure where 80 is. 80 is probably northern up there.
Yeah, because I take 80 when I go to Cleveland or...
there it is. 80's way up there. Yeah, and then doesn't 80 is in Idaho. right? I mean, it's right there. As a matter of fact, right at that gas station where his car was spotted, but apparently he went back to Pullman. So, I mean, that's one of the things that's interesting is where did he go that night? Did he get rid of the weapon down Highway 80 somewhere? Because why was he going that way? Wouldn't he have... It's not. It's totally the opposite direction of Pullman.
Yeah, and if that weapon was in his car, there's got to be blood evidence, I would think. Even if he cleaned it. Hopefully.
Yep. Well, that's the wrong one.
But, and I think the father, everybody feels bad for the father, but...
No, it's Highway 8.
That
not
body
80.
cam,
Oh, sorry about that. Go ahead.
I don't know, the father seems a little suspicious.
Yeah, he seems a little bit more to me now. Just if you just kind of logically think about the trip, it's almost like the only reason he went was to maximize the speed at which he could get that car back to Pennsylvania. It wasn't, hey, let's hang out, father, son, and let's go hang out and, you know, drive 400 miles, maybe stay in a hotel, get a drink. Next day we'll do 500 more. And this seems like we got to tag team this sucker and get this car the hell out of there because they're looking for it. Right? It does feel like that.
I'm just thinking if your son's was a recovering heroin addict and he's at the other end of the country, you're going to be worried. You know, I mean, besides him being like severe OCD and all that, I'm going to be worried about that kid. And then you're hearing about the murders, and you're like, I don't know. I mean, he's lived with them 20 years.
There's no way that the father didn't talk to his son about the murders in Moscow, Idaho, knowing that his son was a criminology major 15 miles away, 15 minutes away, I mean, from the campus. There's no way they didn't talk about it randomly on the side. So you look at something like that, and you put all the pieces together, and it does seem like... I mean, it's definitely possible he has no clue, but it just doesn't feel that way. Not because I want it to feel a certain way. I'm always err on the side of those guys, like in the Brian Laundrie case. Like, I don't think he told his parents. But in this one, it feels more like he knows something. Why did he make that one special trip so that they can get that car back to Pennsylvania as fast as possible?
Yep. They had to have known about the story. You know, you would think. The parents, I mean. And if he's telling both cops about the incident with the that happened, and he kept talking about that, you know, how would he not know about the 4 murders in Idaho, you know, 8 miles away?
Yeah. Does the father know what Brian did when he picked him up? All right. I'm going to do a poll question there. Hey, 8675309, I just realized the amount that you typed in again. I didn't even see the... Jeez. Hey, at least there's 4 this time, all right? Let's see. So most people say no. They want to believe in him. Doesn't matter what you say to him logically. And the police won't say if he knew or not either.
Yeah, they feel bad for the dad. I just think maybe he knows.
And you don't think that the dad heard about, okay, my son, he goes to school there. He's 15 miles away. He drives a Hyundai Elantra. I was told about this story. You know, we talked about it. I don't know. It just seems almost impossible. And his dad knows who his kid is. You know, he knows that everything isn't quite there, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was in rehab for being a heroin addict. So, I mean, he knows the kid has issues. And he's got OCD so bad they have to change their pots out every time they use meat or whatever. I mean, I think there's some issues there, you know? I don't know.
Yeah. Gotta be something. Might not be.
Yeah. But yeah, just because everyone's feeling bad.
Yeah, well, the only evidence, I don't have any evidence either, like Dan's saying, that the dad knew. What I do have is just sort of like common sense sort of things when you go, okay, his son is in a criminology and, criminal justice and criminology major at a school right next to the Moscow, Idaho, University of Idaho campus, where 4 people were killed, not women. 4 individuals were killed, and you would obviously call your son, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And then you're talking to your son, and then later on, a white Elantra is introduced. Wait, hold on. I got to hit this button.
Huh?
A white Elantra is introduced into the case, and he knows that his son drives a white Elantra. And then, lo and behold, after the heat is on for the white Elantra, the father flies all the way across the country and gets into the vehicle, with them, and then they drive, and they don't just make a leisurely trip. They are driving nonstop all the way from Idaho back to Pennsylvania, and that white Elantra is never going to see the light of day again. I bet you anything that it was, hey, Dad, I don't need the Elantra anymore. If the dad doesn't know, he said, Dad, I don't need the Elantra anymore. But why didn't the dad just say, hey, just take your time, son. You don't need to be here right away. Instead, man, he's over there, and they're getting that car back as soon as possible.
I don't know why he had to fly out there. I've had kids across the country, and I never flew out to get them. And they're a lot younger than 28. I don't know why, I put them on a plane and sent them home. Or I guess maybe he didn't want them driving alone.
I mean, originally I thought he might have just been out there, he's just going to be hanging out with his son, and they were going to take a trip back. But just the circumstances now, watching those body camera videos and just knowing now that they were really just hustling to get back, and it wasn't sort of this weird bonding moment. I mean, so basically the dad flew out there just so the car could continually move, that it wasn't going to stop moving, so that's a little weird, right?
When did they come out with the announcement about the Elantra? Was it around the 15th, or was it sooner? I can't remember.
I actually looked that up the other day. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. I can tell you in a second. Idaho. Wait, no, Moscow. There it is. Right here. Then King Road homicides. I think it was right around this time. Not that. It was 12/7 is what I think. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, so there it is, right there, the 7th. So that's pretty quick. Like 8 days later, boom, he's out of there with that car. When the heat's on, everybody's looking for it. Everybody's digging around looking for that white Elantra everywhere. And then he gets out of there on the 15th, and it's, it'd be interesting to see if there's any. I don't think there is, though. Like Street View, you have to have a really current Street View. There was one case we did a couple of years ago where the killer in a case who killed, I think it was in Boston area, his car, you could still see it it would be parked in the apartment building parking lot, right where he would have probably parked it when he brought the girl in and killed her in his apartment. So that was kind of weird. I forgot the name of that one. But anyways, I got to get these other calls, but I appreciate you calling in.
All right.
All right.
All right, thanks.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Wasn't bad, right?
You
It wasn't too bad, right? It was. I did. No, she didn't say that. 219. You're on. Hello.
Hey, Dre. How's it going?
Yeah, you got to turn off the audio in the background.
Is that good?
Yep. What's going on?
A couple thoughts. So I was thinking there's the only way that his dad knew was if Bryan thought he was going to get caught.
Mm-hmm. If he drove by himself,
And then,
maybe he would be sort of a...
What's that?
If he drove by himself, or what? What do you mean?
Well, you're saying that you think Bryan's dad knew or that he told him. And I don't think that he knew unless Bryan thought he was going to get caught.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that. Like, I mean, it would be sort of weird if he told his dad what he did. You know, because he seems like somebody was trying to get away, but he already knows the Elantra. He probably realized he did cut his hand or was scratched, and he knows that they have his DNA. He's just trying to make last-ditch efforts to get that Elantra the hell out of there.
Right, exactly. And then also, when he got pulled over the second time, I think, I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, like, I would think that there's something up, and they probably are trying to get more footage. Like you said, I agree with you there. But I was curious on your thoughts. Why do you think he wouldn't try to escape or, like, disappear at that point? Maybe try and get to a different country or something. Like, you know you're going to get caught at that point, pretty much. Or at least I would think that if I was in his shoes.
Well, you know what it might not be? It might be that he wasn't really thinking about forensic genetic genealogy. That's such a huge game changer. Like, he's not in CODIS. He doesn't have any DNA out there. He might not have thought about that and figured if he just got rid of the Elantra, how could they ever connect him when they don't even have his... He's not in CODIS, right? There's a lot of people that still are unaware, even somebody like him, of forensic genetic genealogy and how it works and everything. So that could be possibly why he thinks, gosh, if I just get rid of the Elantra, then I could go back there and how would they ever tie me to the scene?
Right, no, that makes sense. And I also was thinking maybe he's might have like a narcissistic personality, because that seems to be the case with a lot of these not serial killers, but people like this. So just kind of thinking he might be able to get away with it, and that's why he wouldn't try to escape. But I was thinking if I was in his shoes, I would definitely try and be like out of the country, or just disappear somewhere.
Yeah, you know, I mean, who knows why people think the way they think. Yeah.
Right, you know,
people
it's messed up.
I mean, people who do these kinds of things, maybe they're just not the brightest. I mean, they do weird things anyways, right? So, I don't know. I don't know if the dad knows anything. It just feels odd, that whole situation.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
agree with you. But that's all I pretty much had. I was just wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I guess that was a good observation, though, that you kind of narrowed down. The only reason that he would ever tell his dad would be if he thought he was going to get caught.
Right. Oh, and then one other thing real quick. If he did have his dad fly out there, how would he convince his... I mean, obviously you don't know the family, but how would you tell your dad over the phone that you just murdered 4 people? Because you can't say that over the phone because you know the lines could be tapped somehow or whatever.
Well, he might have convinced his dad, hey, Dad, you know, can you come over? We'll drive back together. And maybe he told him when he got there. I don't know. But
right, that's what I was thinking.
The whole story would be something like... I mean, that's true. You can really have a conversation over the phone on how you killed 4 people. But probably not. But he might have said, hey, Dad, you know what? I'm thinking of bringing the Elantra back. I really want to get back there. I got something I got to go do on the 16th. So do you think you could fly over? We could spend some time together. You and I could drive back, take shift going back and forth. You know, have dinner, lunches, and eat here and there. But we'll go to the bathroom, and we'll just drive back together. And he came up with some weird story, but maybe he told him once he got there. Like the dad was like, well, I don't know. Who knows how it went, right? Man, they could have talked about it on the phone. But he doesn't seem like he'd be that dumb. Like he probably would think the NSA was listening in or something.
Right, you'd have to be really stupid to be talking about that over the phone.
Yeah, if he thought he was being tapped in some way.
Yeah, exactly.
And likely he was, because I think they already knew who he was on the 15th. So that means they probably knew who he was from early December.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. That forensic genealogy will get you every time.
Yep, absolutely. That's all I got. I found your channel basically since this case started, and I love it. So
thank you.
I subscribe. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, take care.
This will be the last call here. I did a 2-hour show earlier. Now it's 2:43 again. All right, 708, you're on.
Oh, hello.
Hello, and welcome
doing?
to the show.
I am I'm calling back. This is my second time calling.
Mm-hmm.
I called previously because I'm a forensic psychologist and had some insight, and I gave you like a little I gave you some scenarios, and then one of them that you thought I was loopy for was about the 3 kids in being like kind of like stupid to it. Remember that?
No, I don't even know what you're saying. I can't even understand you.
Well, by that, do you mean that you can't understand me because, like, is it a bad connection? Or
No, I just can't understand the words that you're using. It doesn't make sense to me. What are you referring to? 3 what?
There was the 3 kids that were in the field, and I referred to them as being like kind of like like somebody called in and used them as a like a decoy, yeah, to make so that they went to the field and then he could go do what he wanted to do over there. Yep. And it was like to get the police over there.
I just said I don't think it's very likely, but I said, yeah, I mean, sure, it's possible. Just doesn't seem likely at all. Yeah.
Right. And I am sure it's not the case anymore. I just wanted to like discuss because I have a lot of different views and insights regarding it, and I think the first of all, I need to like just give props and to the Moscow Police Department and the how he called the FBI right away and all of that. That is just phenomenal, and that is why this case is going the way it went, and they caught this guy. I'm going to say that is I think it's like everyone was like, why is this taking so long? Why is it taking so long? And I think that they did an amazing job by like with everything they did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I'm glad they did what we said. So on this show, like right when the case started, they said, if they have DNA, wouldn't it be great? You know what they should do is have a rapid forensic genetic genealogy system at the FBI where they are first. Everybody drops everything. They get a sequence immediately. You can get a sequence in less than a day. Then you take the sequence and you put it through bioinformatics, a software program that converts it to the raw data upload for GEDmatch, and you could have it up there based on conversations I had with Colleen Fitzpatrick and Misty Gillis. In 2 days, you could get that uploaded and then get genealogists working on it and get straight to the killer almost immediately. And that's what they did. So, boom, chakalaka.
I was going to say, this is what they did. I think this is what they did.
Well, that is what they did.
And
yeah,
and they can tell everyone because they tracked them. And the thing that I thought was interesting is how he was pulled over twice in Indiana, and one of them for sure was an FBI agent.
Mm-hmm. Or it could have just been where they were told them to pull him over, because it sounds like, I just read the article where it said that the FBI had maybe the sheriff or the Indiana State Police pull him over to get shots of his hand.
Yes, I read that too.
So we don't know if they were agents, you know.
but that guy who pulled him over actually was not aware of an SUV. He even said, we don't have SUVs because they say we were just pulled over previously by an SUV, and the second guy who pulled them over was. That's why.
He said that's probably the county people. So maybe maybe the second guy was random, but the first one was intentional.
Well, yeah. Either way, I think they did a great job because they have 50 on the clock. Like on the clock. Not.
I think the second guy was god awful. If he was there to do anything, the second person was absolutely horrendous. He got like 1 second of anything worth using at all. So hopefully he wasn't part of it. The other guy at least had the guy's face on the video the entire time, had him hand him an ID. The second guy didn't even do anything once he was told, you followed 2 people in a row twice. Hello? When you hear me talking, does that mean that you guys keep talking? Yeah, because I'm just in the middle of explaining something. I don't know if you could hear that or not. Yeah. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, finish what you were saying.
Oh, no, I forget it. You go ahead. It's hard to speak when there's other voices talking at the same time. So go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you that he was almost like high-fiving him and like giggling like, oh, okay, well, go along, folks. And he didn't really do anything. He didn't ask for the ID or anything, and was just kind of like, okay, have a great day. But it is, but what they have with the FBI when they are trailing someone, so they have 8 people constantly following them. So they have all like unmarked random cars. So they have a cycle of like 50 people because they all have to go to sleep, and whatnot. But the 8 people who are on time, it's their time. If that car gets pulled over, then the car trailing them has to pass it. So then there's another one that might have to pass it, and so on and so forth. So that is why they also have the other car to pull them over for a dumb reason, to have the other cars catch up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the one car pulled him over, the first one, and I don't know if the second one was part of the deal, but the first one got good shots, voice, hand reaching over, handing in the ID, and then the second one, he got like 1 second of usable crap, and then the camera filmed the side of the car and the ground the rest of the time, as Jenny Penny eloquently pointed out.
So, that's like the point I'm saying is that I think one pullover caused the other one to have the other guys catch up because they have to exit and circle around. You know what I mean? Like if you are trailing.
I don't know if it was like that. I just think it was like they got a hold of the different various cops that are already on the freeway and maybe said, hey, can you go ahead? Because they didn't pull them over anywhere else for some reason. I mean, we don't have any other records of them being pulled over, so they were just probably following them. You keep saying but every single thing that I say. It gets really annoying,
What, everything you say gets really annoying?
No, you say but after everything I say, you say but, because that means everything I just said was nonsensical to you.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
No, that is something that you should take up with your therapist, coming from a therapist.
No, that's true. It's actually true when people say, but everything you say, you go, but. It doesn't always have to be a but, right?
Someone says an apology, but like
right, then it negates everything. It basically reverses everything. So that means if I say, wow, it rained so hard today, my house almost fell into the ground. But the thing, well, no, there's no but. My house almost, squished into the ground. I'm just being goofy. I really don't give a shit.
I know.
So anyways, what I think is the car pulled him over. Obviously, Fox News reported that they were supposed to get shots of his hand, make sure we're following the right guy and everything. And then 7 minutes later, another car pulls him over. And there's no way in hell that was random. I said that before. So I already had a strong feeling that they were, and I even said the FBI probably wants to, verify where they're at or something. I didn't realize it was something about the hand. The second guy could have been random because he didn't seem to do anything. Like, it was one of the worst. He didn't even film anything that was really useful other than that one little 2 frames that showed his hand that looked sort of puffy.
Well, that's my point, is that the second guy that pulled him over was very, he seemed like a ding-dong. He didn't ask for his ID or whatever. And because the other guys were trailing him, because when he got actually pulled over the first time, all of the guys trailing him passed him because they can't stop. So they needed to stop him a second time to have the FBI agents stop, pull out and then wait. And then when the stop is okay, all clear, then everyone else can go and start following him again. Because because he could get pulled over like he did.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's too many people too close to each other. I don't think there's this loop of people going around in circles right around there. Doesn't make any sense.
But there's 8 guys following him at all times during this ride.
Yeah.
And they needed him to get pulled over again so they could pull off and then wait to rejoin the highway so they can still follow him. Whatever they did, regardless, we're all, we have all of our theories, but I'm pretty familiar with the FBI, how that system works.
Right.
But
but I think the cop cars are different. So they probably had 8 unmarked, I'm just going with what you're saying, that they had 8 unmarked vehicles following around. And then when they were pulled over, maybe they drove up to the next pull off and then waited. And the cars from behind, they pulled over way back so they could say, okay, they're back on the move again, be on the lookout. And then the other car gets back on the freeway and they're just kind of surrounding them the whole time. But I think the cop cars, though, are just actual, the sheriff department or the police department that they're working with, and they just want them to pull them over. You wouldn't just go get a fake cop cars and all these things that are FBI. It's probably just actual sheriff, actual police. And the police guy, he might have screwed up. He wasn't supposed to pull him over. Maybe he really did notice he was tailgating, and because his is so bad, I can't imagine that being part of something.
Well, tailgating, I have never heard of anyone getting pulled over on a freeway or expressway.
Well, they
or highway,
should. They
whatever.
Should pull over a lot more people for it because it sucks.
I know,
ridiculous.
but I've never ever.
I always hit my brakes whenever I'm on a freeway, and I'm going 75, and the speed limit's 65, and this car comes zooming up on me, and he's right behind me. I start hitting my brakes.
Oh, of course you do, because it's so rude of that.
Yeah, they're idiots. I mean, it's what are you doing, you moron? I mean, it wasn't and there's nobody, and here's the thing, I'm going 75, and there's 9 cars right in front of me, right? And this guy comes zooming up on the back of me as if he somehow, after passing me, is going to crush through the other 9 cars that are right in front of me. Yeah, it's forget it.
So if you're on a street that's 45 miles an hour speed limit, let's say, but there's a stoplight, I always put them in their place if they do that, because I swear a lot if my kids or nieces or nephews aren't in the car if there is someone who drives past me like that. And then when I get to a red light, I like love to be like really, this is what you have to speed past.
You know what I hate the most is when you have those four-way stop with lights, and it's rush hour, and you're in one of those lanes where when the light turns green, you can turn.
Asshole.
Well, let me just finish the sentence. When the light turns green, you can turn left, but you have to wait. You can't turn left unless there's no traffic. So the idiots that don't claim the intersection. So that means you could sit there for the entire rush hour, because there's never a time when there isn't people coming towards you during rush hour. So the only way that you can at least move one car at a time is if you claim the intersection, and when the light turns red, you still get to turn. These idiots, they sit there at the line, and they'll sit there for days because they don't know that you got to claim the intersection. Don't you hate those people? Yes.
That drives me absolutely mad, because hands down, that is very, very, very annoying.
Yeah.
The other thing, not to take all of your time, I wanted to mention was the mentality of this guy, that he is without a doubt an overt narcissist who, and I said it in the last time I called, and I said, well, he might also be an incel, but I said, I gave a few different kind of possibilities, but without a doubt, he is an overt narcissist. And from everything I'm reading,
what a narcissist! Everybody's a narcissist, man. Who isn't?
Well, everyone is narcissist. Babies are narcissists. It is, you're born a narcissist. But it is.
Did you hear that, everybody? You've all been narcissists. Oh, man,
you are also
guys.
born babies.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Will Ferrell comment. Well, I was born a baby, but
all right. But
anyway, no. And so I digress. But he is. There's different kinds of narcissism. There's covert, overt. There's neurotic. There's all these different levels. But he's in overt one, which is he's super low self-esteem, and he is confident on the outside. He has to be the smartest person in the room. He overtalks people. He will.
Hey, but that's what. But wait, you were doing that. You were overtalking me earlier.
Well, I'm not saying I can't diagnose.
You're not a little bit narcissistic yourself? Come on.
Oh, of course I am. Yeah.
Oh, everybody is, right? If you have here's the thing. If you're confident, then you're narcissistic to people on social media. If you think that you're you got an opinion based on facts, and it's really reasonable, and you defend it, and when somebody gives you another opinion that's just full of holes and a complete trash opinion, and you let them know, oh, you're a narcissist. Well, no, it's not. What it is just you're weeding through the garbage, people. It's just.
Wait. I have to pause you right there, because what you said is that I'm full of facts and I'm knowledgeable, and then someone says what?
No, I was talking about myself. I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, okay. Because I also missed
just
that part.
In general. I said the general you, not you specifically.
Yeah, but I missed. I couldn't hear that. There was a section, so I wanted you to repeat that. Is what so I could follow you, what you were saying.
Yeah.
Well, because I missed what you were saying. I couldn't hear it.
Hey, wait, hold on. 86753. I didn't say weeding through the garbage people. I said weeding. Look at that. She changed my inflection. I said weeding through the garbage people. People. Listen to what I'm saying, people. Not weeding through the garbage people. Yeah, you know what that's like? When people say, watch this one right here. Watch the difference in this sentence right here with the inflection. What's set up in the road ahead? What's set up in the road ahead? You see how there's a big difference there? Yeah, so inflection matters, and look
Where
at
you
that
put the
garbage
top
people.
matters.
Yeah. Anyways, well, I guess that's about it. All right.
Yeah, thank you so much for the time, and I love your coverage, and yeah, I hope this bastard gets everything he deserves. So,
Boom. We'll call back again sometime. We'll have to get, once the probable cause comes out, you give your thoughts, okay?
absolutely. Thank you so much. You take care. Happy New Year.
See you later. See you later from the fellow narcissist. See you later. Have a good one.
Okay.
Have a good one. Bye. Did you hear Gray? He admitted he's a narcissist. Oh, good. I'm going to get off. Okay. Let's see. Now, you guys don't, when people call in, don't be, disparage them, It's just kind of, at least they made the effort to call in, you know what I mean? Unless it's a troll person, then it's okay. You get what I'm saying? I can't believe it, man. The garbage people. Yeah, I thought you could tell, or the way I said it, that it wasn't garbage people, it was, you got to get rid of the garbage people, hello. Yeah. Anyways, that's it. So I thanked everybody on the first show, and let's see what we got on this one. Yeah, don't forget that like button before you leave, and subscribe, okay? We're going to need to get that subscriber count way up there. We're at 566. I'd like to see a 67. And I'm going to wait here all night until we get that 67 there. Hold on. Come on, rodeo clowns! Hit the subscribe button immediately. Oh, we've lost 3. Those bastards. Come back, bastards! Come back! Hit the like button! Hit the subscribe! Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hit that like button, 45, 50, 50. Boom! Chakalaka! It's the easiest thing in the world. You just hit the like button, you guys. Here we go. Let's do it again. Hit that like button right now. I don't want a 20. Hit that like button. 25, 30, 35, 40. Hit that like button. 45, 50, 55, 60. 65, 70. Do I hear 75, 80, 85, 90? Hit that like button. 10, 20, 25, 30. Come on, man. Come on, hit that like button. Come on, hit that like button. Huh? It's a house! Yeah, there we go. I need more of that. I love this music. Who doesn't like that? You want me to, do you like that or this? Yes, you too, Jim, can buy yourself a handy dandy wristwatch from Timex. Timex, a legendary watch Been around for centuries. I think you too could enjoy a Timex watch. Really? Who the hell wants a Timex watch? Give me a break. Circus music is my work phone. All right. Hoping to lose some subs tonight. Hey, let me ask you guys something. Here's how I can lose a few subs. Let's go for it. Let me just tell you this. If you're on this channel and you're somebody who believes that Sandy Hook, the event that killed all those children, that it was a fake event, that it was some sort of, what do you call it, a false flag operation with fake actors, crisis actors, and the like, you're not welcome here. That means you're a dummy. You're a dumb person. All right, so you're not welcome here, and just mere fact that you believe something like that, you're not welcome here. Also, the Earth is absolutely a sphere. It's not flat. If you believe that, you're not welcome here. And we have landed on the moon. Okay, we have landed on the moon, and if you can get by all three of those, then you are absolutely welcome here. We've lost one. One moron just unsubscribed. Thank you very much. What do you mean? There's that one girl with the brown hair that's at every one of the crime scenes. Do you see her face? No, but it's brown hair. Well, how many women have brown hair out there? Well, that's beside the point, Gray. It's... Okay, well, you know what? Get the hell out of here, all right? Yeah, have yourself a good evening. Oh, yeah. Yes, everybody, I'm not afraid to lose subs for the sake of humanity. Okay, thank you very much. All right, thanks, Pebs W, early on. Was that tonight, this one? I'll do Jenny Penny's again. Pebs W, congrats on 100,000. So proud of you. Hey, no problem. Hey, thank you very much. Pebs W. Nicole, but freaks, no way. P.S. No way is somebody's name. So, P.S. The storm chaser stole all your money this week. Oh, yeah. I guess there is a storm out there. KK. The Mike D Experience. Lisa McCafty Scott. Living it as in living the dream. KK. Cairo. As a representative of the Anadarko Oil legal team, I'm going to have to ask you to retract that last statement. Mary Glaviano, Alicia Barnett, Vegas Andrews, Melanie, Adniram, Zozo, Trish Stuck in a Well, Plato, Eugenie, Jan Allison. She said, paddle board lessons for Zozo. Nicole, Kristen Russell, I'm glad I found your channel. I love it. Hey, cool. Thank you. Jason Padula. Marge. The cop also got him to say it was his car. Yeah, well, it was his car. Jennifer McIntyre. Kubi. Brittany Lynn. Betty Fremont. I Miss Gatelin. Mia Cunningham. Kathy Shiflett. American Lady, Holly G, and 8675309 with, let me see if I can. Maybe listen to an uplifting song would lift your spirits. Hey, hey, hey. That sounds pretty good. Hey, 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 hey. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. 100K, 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 100K. Wow, that sounded pretty good. Pretty good stuff right there. Belle S., Loretta Reyes, and Georgina Stoliker. Come on. You got to admit that sounded pretty good, right? 8675309. Let me see. Let's try that again. Is there another one? Hey. Hey, yama, hey, yama, hey, yama, hey, yama.
Yeah, if you're wondering where that's from, it's from...
Yeah, that was from the long time ago in the Hart family case. This guy was singing the song at this fake sort of just faux, hippie revival bullshit concert, and yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I made your dog leave. Man, that's bad.
Come back, doggy G.
I'm gonna play the jazz interlude. This one right here. Yes, you too can join the Love Boat with Cindy, Isaac, the Gopher, the Doc, and that zany Captain Stooping. Come join Isaac on the Lido deck, where he and all the rest of the passengers will frolic in glee as they play bingo and roulette. It'll be absolutely hilarious. Yeah, who doesn't love this music? I always thought Julie was pretty cute when I was a kid. Not as cute as Jamie Summers, okay? The Bionic Woman. Remember she had the bionic ear. I was always glad they didn't have. I've said this before, but I was always really happy that both Steve Austin and Jamie Summers had two bionic legs, because I was always trying to picture how funny that would be if they were trying to sprint really fast with only one. You get what I'm saying? It'd be just like a boom, just this really quick, and then nothing. Da-na-na-na. 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 You know what I'm saying? You guys watch that show. Yeah. I guess he would be able to run 30 miles an hour, not 60. Yeah, there you go. And it would look really strange. Half slow-mo, half speed. No, Linda Carter was Wonder Woman. Get us out from under, Wonder Woman. That one's called, believe it or not, the flyby music is called Furious Freaks, which is amazing because we're the freaks, right? Aren't you guys glad to be freaks? I know, that's only a question a narcissist would ask. Oh boy. Oh my god, I love the name even. Yeah, it's cool. It's called Furious Freaks. So anyways, I did that. Let me go to the... And then in the later session on PayPal, we had Dina Prevost. Thank you so much. She's been around a long time. And then Melanie Moore, Cindy Jones, and Kubi. Thanks, Kubi. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Very generous. Thank you. Okay. hope I got everybody's name. If I didn't get everybody's name, oh well. It's not the main thing of what we're doing here. I tried. Sometimes when you get the call-ins and it's hard to get everything in there. That's when the Bionic Man was like 76, right? Steve Austin, a man barely alive. We can rebuild him. That's the Bionic Eye. That was the jumping. Except it had a little bit of a in there. Alright, here we go. We're going to do a spin tonight. We're going to give away the Everything Tumbler and a Wow Just Wow mug. Okay, here we go. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. And a spin. What song? Oh, that one? Oh, cool. Oh, look at that. Bama Forever. She does like to respin normally, so I'll do that. Let me respin. This is for the Everything Tumbler. She can just tell me if she wants one. Paul Hallett wins the Everything Tumbler. Awesome. Okay, now this was for the Wow Just Wow mug. Here we go. It's Stacy. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to let her know that she won the Wow Just Wow mug. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. And that's it. Maybe do you guys want to do the flyby again tonight? Should we do it? Let me go to the. I'm gonna go to the one that has Paul Bunyan's toilet. Yeah, there is actually. It's Paul Bunyan's toilet. It's weird. Man, I like this one place. I'll get to see it later, I guess. Man, I think it's the other one. Yeah, I think it's this one. No. Oh, there it was. I just saw it. There we go. I'm just going to get ready for this. Oh, yeah, this is cool. Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys very much for being here tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I keep saying, if I say you guys one more time, I'm going to time myself out. Okay, you get... I'm just kidding. Anyways, well, that's the only word I can say. Now, I know that some of you are gals, but I think we've all learned that saying you guys is a word that girls even use. Women. Like, hey, guys, want to go to the, they don't say gals. I mean, who the hell even says gals? All right? It just, guys is a generic term for, hey, you. All right? So let's get over that really quick. Well, how come we don't say, hey, gals? I don't know. Sometimes things just don't work out. It's just sort of the way it is. Dames. That was like, you're back in like the 40s or something with that one. Dan Carr. Jeez. Thank you, SSP 134, Georgia. Hey, Dame, get over here and light my cigarette, huh? You guys remember the Star Trek with where it was But he landed on a planet that was 1920s, replete with the machine guns, and it was just ludicrous, right? And Captain Kirk was trying to sound like them, and he's like, "Hey, Spock." And then Spock was like, what did he say? "I want a piece of the action." It just sounded so ridiculous. I don't even know how to explain it, but you kind of had to be there. That was a crazy episode. I think the name of the episode, I think, is Piece of the Action. Yeah. I could have the guy in Mel's diner, like Mel himself was one of the mob members. Yeah. The original Star Trek was freaking great. I mean, absolutely amazing episodes. It's weird how things get worse over time. Strange. Although there are some really good shows now. Like I like Yellowstone a lot. That's a good one. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys later. I said you guys again. I'm not timing myself out. And as I always say, everybody, and thanks for putting me in a better mood later on in the show. I know I started off shitty, but I feel better now. Okay? Thank you guys very much. Sorry for anybody that I upset anytime during the show at all. You know, some nights aren't as good and some are better. I mean, who the hell knows? So we'll see you later. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. Hopefully tomorrow we get the probable cause document. We'll keep checking. I'll come on immediately when that comes out, okay? I won't even make a thumbnail. It'll be that shitty. It'll be some thumbnail from 6 weeks ago. It'll have a picture of Barbra Streisand. There's going to be Barbra Streisand on the thumbnail, and we're going to be talking about the probable cause document. All right. Anyway, we'll see you later. Well, we do the flyby right here in a second. Yeah, I've been
Barbra Streisand? Where the hell did you come up with that?
And during this whole time, I don't know why that popped into my head. I haven't. Oh, wait, why'd that stop?
Why'd that stop, Gray? Gray, why'd it stop? Oh, there it goes.
Certified human lie detector.
I don't know why it didn't stop. Okay,
if you
thank
try
you.
and play me like an old projector.
Welcome, and Stephanie Spears.
My nectar. Professor
Gray is gonna give another lecture. Nectar.
And I'm always gonna be a
Protector.
Cool the fucking interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, just remember I've a temple fucking jack. I have no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Look at that, Gray. That's Paul Bunyan's toilet right there. Literally. I guess I just got flushed down the toilet. more.
Okay, we'll do it again.
Wow, that was really neat, Gray. I think it is you, Takumi. I think it just froze up. I think it froze up on me, guys. That was a good one, too. Well, it was over anyways.
But man, that was really cool, wasn't it? That little, looked like there was a guy almost sitting there. There must be a name for that rock, I would imagine. It froze at a good spot, though. Poor Google Earth, it froze. Nah, well, it's frozen up, so I won't be able to do another one. Are you on rewind, Vicky? What's going on with Vicky over there? She must be on rewind mode. Alright, you guys. Well, thank you very much for being here tonight. You too, Mary Lou.
What do you mean, Gray? Was that directed to me?
Well, kind of. You're a little bit nuts sometimes. That's for damn sure. I can't do one more hour because this thing is just broke. There it is. Close the program. Cancel. Google Earth. Die. So that's it, you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Hope you guys at least thought tonight's show was interesting. Maybe entertaining at times, too. Maybe, perhaps. Who the hell knows? But we'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And we'll do the rap again. Why not? Something. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
And
Hey, Grant, did you already do this
I have
once?
not seen one
I
person.
did, but I just said I was going to play it again. Didn't you hear me say that?
I guess not. I was doing something else.
Well, no, pay attention then. Okay?
I'm a certified human lie detector.
Detector, I'm gonna get you on a stretcher. You be right, play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector. And I'm always gonna be a pop protector, fool deflector, interceptor. And I'll meet him in a speckle with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all. Just remember,
I have a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda.
Were you saying Old MacDonald?
And I'll serve it to you straight without
I think so.
blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody?
All right, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
good night, everybody.
Well, that sounded a little bit sarcastic. Could you say it a little nicer?
Good night, everybody. I just loved you all.
Oh, now that sounded sarcastic. Did anybody buy that one at all? That was very, very sarcastic.
I can't do anything right, Ray. Good night, everybody.
Wow, are you really that upset, Mary Lou?
No, not really. Good night, everybody.
Oh, there we go. Poser Mary Lou again. Poser Mary Lou again. What a fake. Ah, God. Anyways, we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Oh boy, here we go.